Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk, LaJarvis Sneed News. Not 100%. That deal is not totally done just yet. Did I totally say that wrong just then? Yeah, I said the total wrong name. Anyway, Sneed, he's not going to be here just yet. I have Zeph looking at me weird as we get going right now. But what is official is the fact that the NFL owners have approved the ban on swivel hip drop tackling. That is one of the new rules that they are currently having at the meetings and voting on. More rules will be voted on as we continue throughout the show today. And Vanderbilt has hired a brand new head coach as James Madison's Mark Byington is apparently coming to the city to be the Vanderbilt Commodores' next head coach. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It is Sweet 16 week here. Lots of topics for us to dive in with you today about Sweet 16, of course. LeJarius Sneed deal. What's going on there? Vanderbilt has a new basketball coach, reportedly.
Allegedly.
A lot of that going on, all of that happening. We will talk about all of it. Babsy is here.
I'm in the building.
What up, Babsy?
Hi, people. Happy Monday.
Sorry about Auburn, Babsy.
Why you got to bring up old crap?
I'm legitimately sorry about that. Like, they should have won that game.
That
They should have won that game.
was dismal. It was dismal. It was not a flagrant 2 in the first place. It was bad. It was just bad. They did not show up. They played bad. They couldn't get anything to fall. Nothing to fall. For so many reasons, it was frustrating.
You know what it shows though is if Auburn. I said this after the game. We was on a text thread with some basketball guys. If Auburn would have played him 9 more times, they would beat them 9 out of 9 times.
Yeah, that's right.
4 more times they beat them 4 out of 4.
That's the tournament. It's like no rhyme or reason.
It's the
to
beauty
it.
and the curse of the tournament, right? Like the one-shot thing. Like, so you play best of 7 series through some of these games.
Right.
We all know how they'll turn out.
The best team will win a best of 7 series without question. You don't have to get lucky or any of that. So you're absolutely right. It is. I think Baker Mazar hurt them though. That threw a monkey wrench in it. That threw a monkey wrench.
No
that
question.
was not good. And
it was wrong because the second one got caught.
Right. Well, Bruce. The reason Bruce was so irritated was because it was a retaliation move. But at the end of the day, you know exactly how it goes. Like, it's the second person that gets busted.
Always.
And you cannot retaliate.
Yep.
But that, I mean, Slay, you said it too. I mean, that's kind of his game.
Yeah.
Has been all year.
Yep.
Guess what? These tournament refs aren't going to allow that to happen.
Nope.
So you cannot harm your team like that. You can't do it. And then he goes to the dang locker room and tweets 5 minutes after he's booted out of the game, my guys got this. I ain't worried or whatever. I'm like, dude.
No, don't.
And then Charles Barkley at halftime is smoking the cigar. I'm like, you are all jinxing us right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hey, they're so used to winning, Babsy. They're not used to this side. See, us as Vols, we are used to this side. We know just relax until it's zeros on the clock. And then we'll start to celebrate a little bit.
Right?
But,
come on, Chuck.
That was
he
ugly
knows
right there.
better,
He
too.
does know better than that.
Yeah, SEC, tough showing. And there were close games. I mean, down to the wire type stuff. We'll talk about that as well. I do know that Slay Dog was in Charlotte. I didn't know you were going.
Definitely in the building.
I have a feeling it was not a pre-planned. It was more of a, hey, you know what? Let's go.
Yep. It was one of
Is
those.
that right?
Yeah, it kind of was. It was like one of those, hey, man, we don't need to miss this.
Yeah, and then you end up really close to the court, too.
Yeah, I was right there.
Felt like you were in the action.
Hey.
Are you surprised?
Boom.
Are you surprised?
I was in there.
I'm not surprised by any of it, but I want to know about it. Ron Slay is here.
I'm in the building. With a little cold.
He is in the building. So what was the building like for Tennessee, Texas? Because I'm going to tell you, just Man, I go into those games and the fan mode turns on, and I was watching the game with my longtime friend. We've been friends since sixth grade, Brian Rucker, and it was good to have somebody to like high five with and all that stuff that goes through it emotionally like you do. But heart rate was up, for the entire game.
The energy there was crazy because this is what you got to understand. We talked about it leading up to it. March Madness tournaments, SEC tournaments, all of these tournaments where you play with different opponents being in the arena, they're going to choose sides. You just got to hope at times they choose your side, or you got to be willing to embrace that underdog or the villain role, whichever one it may be. Before us, North Carolina played versus Michigan State, and North Carolina hung around after.
North Carolina was down double digits in the first half. They go on a 23-3 run. We saw a lot of this over the weekend. Like the better teams would get down, and then they would go on this huge run.
Walk them down. That's exactly what they did.
I mean, Gonzaga did the same thing against Kansas. They were down at halftime and then go 32-4.
That's nuts. That's nuts right there. But they like after the game, there's 25 minutes in between. People went in the concourse rapping and talking, amongst each other. And everybody was saying, hey, man, we pulling for y'all. Michigan State was exiting the building because it was over. And North Carolina was sticking around. And they were like, hey, man, we don't like Texas either. So we're
nobody likes
for y'all,
Texas,
and you could hear
except
it
for
in
Texas
the stadium.
people.
Yeah, exactly. Them the only people.
That's funny.
Hey, so you picked up the North Carolina fan base and rolled on out, man, and it paid dividends.
Usually they go against the higher seed, but that's funny. Texas does have that pull on people.
Yep.
But credit to Texas, man. They fought their ass off, and both teams played really well defensively. And I know that there were a lot of missed threes and all these things. They got an unbelievable staff for you coming up, but Tennessee's defense willed them to that. No victory. And like the positive part from a Tennessee perspective is they didn't win how they normally win. They had to figure out a different way.
Yeah.
And they hit free throws down the stretch that got it done.
Yes, absolutely.
That was huge.
Humongous.
So many of these teams not sealing the deal with free throws. How many times you have to talk about it? I mean, you're raised. If you play basketball, you are raised to know that come tournament time, free throws doom you or
they
propel you forward.
They sure do.
And you've got like 80% free throw shooters that are missing
because
Can't
it's
handle
not
the pressure.
It's not fun to work on the free throw.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you actually just have to
That's time.
Yeah, and it's time, and you would rather be out there shooting threes and stuff like that. I mean, just
fun.
From the fun of playing the sport. But there was a great story. I forget who wrote it about Dalton Connect and a point. Mike
Wilson.
Mike Wilson.
About Dalton Connect struggling from the free throw line, and we talked about it. It was in the middle of February, and Barnes took him back in the back, and in Thompson Bowling Arena, they said it was like down in the basement or something like that. I just know like in the under the seats, but off the court, there are lowered goals.
The tunnels,
And so Rick Barnes went in there. Rick Barnes
out of retirement,
Rick Barnes went in there and stood in the goal, like his head in the goal. And he said, look, if a grown man can fit in this rim, so can that ball.
Yeah.
And Dalton Connect said that changed everything for him.
Makes sense.
And so Tennessee hit their last 7 free throws in the last 49 seconds to get it done. And to make it to the next weekend, which is so important, man. Like just from a fan perspective, that you can get through the first weekend and then take a few days to be like,
yeah.
All right, now it's looking great. You know what I mean?
Well, it's so important for Rick Barnes and the whole can't win in the postseason and then the lay an egg in the SEC tournament.
That's a legit chance. And
now,
listen, Tennessee has been to the Elite Eight one time in the history of the program, and they've got that opportunity in front of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Beat Kraton, they're in the Elite Eight.
You have to think at some point they're not going to shoot that bad, right?
Yeah.
You have to think. Although that's 2 games in a row where they struggled.
But listen, this is my thing. When you get in tournament play like this, if you got to win 6 games, you're going to have to win an ugly game somewhere along the stretch. I remember our stretch
Well, they just won one.
I run to it.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much of what Tobe Walker did. We were playing Louisiana Lafayette at the time. They're Louisiana Raging Cajuns now, but it was Louisiana Lafayette. We were playing them, and our game was floating in the balance the same way, going back and forth. I was playing in the 6-man role, and I came in and gave that exact type of energy. And it wasn't I went off for 15 points and 10 rebounds. It was probably about 8 or 9 points, but impactful points, the energy, loose balls, getting ball tie-ups, big-time rebounds, taking the charge. You just inject that life, and that's what Tobey did. You look back at the games where Texas A&M, Mississippi State, it was South Carolina at home, where Jonas Adu started the game like that, missing those layups, and it almost projects to you what the game is going to be like. It's going to be a hard-shooting game. For some odd reason, that's how it is. And they've never been able to get over that hump. I thought they learned a lesson in that SEC tournament game where you missed those same exact shots, but you had to make plays down the stretch. Tobey came in and played masterful.
Best game he's played in his life.
And you could feel it. So if we could feel it in the stands, the players had to feel it. So when Jonas went back in, he was a different type of guy. And then Dalton
because it challenges you, right?
It does.
To be the best version of yourself.
You cannot let your one single player play that way and the rest of you just stand around and watch.
Yeah.
Then you get in trouble. So I thought it was much more to get into, but I thought there was a piece of it, man, that had to be highlighted.
Just real quick, sorry, have played bad 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Because somebody was like, what about St. Peter? Yes, 2 of their, different competition, but 2 of their last
It's funny, you're
3
seeing
games they have struggled.
You're seeing some of that, though, because Arizona lost their last 2 coming into the tournament. They look great. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different deal. And now you're down to, and I want you to talk about this, you're down to 16 teams. It doesn't matter what's happened before.
Yeah.
No one's worried about the players, the coach. Nobody's worried about any of the past. They're looking ahead to what is coming up on Thursday and Friday this week. It's going to be some fun basketball. When we come back, by the way, I didn't mention this, NFL owners meeting going on, and there are some rule changes that we need to talk about, and we'll talk with you about to get your take. And maybe you haven't seen it yet, but we will do that during the course of today's show. When we come back,
people are pissed.
I want to get your take, Slay. The only coach to beat Kraton twice this year, former Vols assistant Kim English.
Yeah.
How much does that help through conversation and scouting? We'll talk about that next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Let's go. I still get excited listening to that news. Man, it's going to be a fun Titan season. So this weekend, let me tell you what we did. We cleaned out our garage. Mr. Babs was real happy. Let me tell you about it. But here's the beautiful thing. Because I had Artisan Custom Closets come out a couple of years ago and put my garage system in and put in cabinets and storage and all of that, now we can fit 2 cars in the garage because everything has a place and everything is in that place and it's beautiful and organized and it makes my heart so happy. Do you want some organization in your house? Call Artisan Custom Closets. They're the best. They have options for every budget and can pinpoint what you need in your house, whether that is your garage or a mudroom, a pantry, a closet. You want a show-stopping closet, they can do that. They can do home offices, basically from scratch. Laundry rooms, you name it. Artisan can do it all. Let the local team at Artisan help you get rid of clutter, maximize your space, or just make your day-to-day easier and better. 615-800-2199. That's 800-2199. Say goodbye to clutter and hello to calm with ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
What's happening, good people? Listen real carefully. If you're feeling a little tired, a little grumpy, you notice lack of motivation and drive, weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could be signs of low testosterone levels. You need to get that in order. All you got to do is go to Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in 25 minutes. Right now, $25 to get your T levels tested. Make your health a priority. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you. Don Davenport, Ron Slay, filling up his water jug. Got his Vols basketball T-shirt on.
That's right.
Lady Vols in action right now.
Oh, they playing now.
19-17, Lady Vols with the lead over NC State.
NC State's
game.
good, too. Their girls are good.
Oh, speaking of,
It's
how
at
about
home. I mean, at NC State. Sorry.
Man,
You don't like that?
I do like it, but at the same time, it's like, golly, how good do you have to be to go in and get past the first 2 rounds?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sheesh, you ain't got a chance. I understand you got to sell tickets. You know the fan base is going to come, but.
And it's working really well for them.
Man, it is.
I mean, they have sellouts.
You can't go away from that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you don't stand a chance, dog.
makes it more important to do well in the regular season. So you get straddled with that 6 seed, you know you're not playing at home.
Goodness, man. I couldn't walk in there think I'm going to win, but golly, you going to some of these fan bases at home? Did MTSU at LSU didn't stand a chance at some point?
By the way,
MTSU is a really good team.
congrats on winning the first round game against 6 seed Louisville. They were an 11 seed, 71-69. Then on Sunday, they played 3 seed LSU at LSU, the defending champs.
Yeah.
And the Blue Raiders
got
led.
screwed by the refs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll get to it. Blue Raiders led 36-32 at the half. They led 41-32 in the third, where Angel Reese had a rebound. She fell down. So Middle ends up with a transition situation, a wide open 3. Reese is still all the way down the floor. Rims out. They throw it the length of the floor, Snowbird, because she was already down there. She scores. They go on a 10-0 run, and that did it. So after the game, MTSU coach Rick Insel sat down at the podium, and before he answered any questions, he said this, quote, "I've been doing this for about 48 years, and I can remember 1 or 2 games like this. It's hard to overcome 37 free throws to 9. That's my opening statement."
It's a lot.
He's not wrong.
No, not at all.
Plus, what is this hit piece that's coming out on Kim Mulkey? Do we know?
No, but I can't wait to read it.
Washington Post.
She
I
just
can't
sold
wait.
it.
She sold it. It would have been one of those, I ain't reading that until I heard something about it.
She went off
I gotta
about
hear
it.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, she did.
But she's already had rumors swirling around her as far as her players not, really liking her, and that I know for sure that Baylor situation when she was there. So
I think it stems back to the Brittany Griner.
yeah. Okay.
There's the rumors are it stems back to that, and then this writer has been working on it for basically 2 years, and some people were like, "Well, how does she even know it's a hit piece?" And she wouldn't talk to him. Some of her later players let her know, said, "Hey, these are the kind of questions they're asking," So, and here's the deal: like journalism like that is important as long as you're willing to hear other sides of it, as long as you're not going in and saying, this is my piece. You're going in saying, I think this is my piece, but I'm going to talk to everybody and find out. That's where you have to be careful as a journalist, right?
Yeah. You lay it out for them to decide.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I'm not one. But I know, like, you can't go into it, like, shaping your questions. You know what I mean?
No,
to
you
fit your
can't.
narrative. But you can hear that happen in press conferences all the time. If you hear weird questions in a press conference, it's because somebody's working on a piece.
Yeah, you told me that.
That they need a quote to fit into what they want their piece to be.
Yep.
So now, and I don't know, I haven't seen the piece, so who knows? But obviously there was enough there of her former players that told her things about the interviews and everything that went on for her to feel like she needed to do that, right?
That's a great point.
And I'm sure that there's both sides to it. I mean, we've seen Kim Mulkey, right?
Yep.
Like we've heard from Kim Mulkey. Like I am sure that there are probably quite a few players that don't like her and her style.
Absolutely.
And how she does things.
And coaches that have been in the game that long, not defending her or anything. The game has changed. So how you were able to talk to your players, we talk about it all the time. How you were able to talk to your players at that point or juncture in your career may not have been how you could talk to them the last 10 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Compared to the last 20 years that you were able to talk. You got to change. So it's Ain't no telling what was said.
Some tells me Kim Mulkey isn't all about change and evolving. I don't know.
615-737-1045 if you want in. You can watch the show live on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Danny says, go Vols and Preds. Yes, Tennessee making it to the second weekend, finding a way to get it done. Preds, 17 games in a row with at least a point. 15 wins, 2 losses, both losses coming in overtime, which means you get 1 point. So they are making a run at the right time. There is no question about it. They host Vegas tomorrow at the Stone. So
it's kind of fun.
Yeah, kudos, man. Turn that thing around.
11
Fun
games
little
left.
run.
That's right.
11 games left. 615-737-1045. D-Cuff 10. Hey, Brett, tell him to play 41 when coming back from break. If you know, you know. I'm wearing my Dave Matthews Band t-shirt, and that is my favorite song from Dave Matthews Band. 41.
Oh, thanks.
Good one.
You've been to so many shows, and like for people that don't know about Dave Matthews, like their catalog is so lengthy that you hear a different show no matter when you go. Like you never hear the same show twice.
Never.
And
I've
so
been to, what am I? I'm close to 50, I think.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I haven't been in a couple years.
Well, they're playing pilgrimage this year.
I know, on a Saturday during football
That's
season.
when pilgrimage happens. Usually it's Tennessee, Florida weekend. I haven't looked at, but
Ooh, that one too.
Yeah.
Ooh, all that.
Dang it.
Mayberry AI Art, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Babs, and Slay Dog, y'all are the best part of my day.
Hey, man, love, bro.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I always say, like, those comments, we do not take lightly. So thank you very much for the compliment. We do the best we can. And we say all the time, we're not going to please everybody, but we just try to be the best us we can be. Absolutely. And that's all you can do. 615-737-1045. I saw, interesting, so Kraton, Tennessee and Kraton coming up on Friday. They get the late game, Slay Dog. What does that do to you as a player? It's, what time is that tip?
Stinks.
It's
10, 15.
9:09 p.m. Central, but Detroit, I think, is on Eastern time, right? So 10:09.
That's crazy.
That's if everything goes to.
I don't understand some of the scheduling this year for the tournament because you've got, on West Coast regional playing at like 9 in the morning. Why don't you put that as the late game?
Yeah, it
I know
sense.
that there's reasons, so I just don't know what they are, and it annoys me.
It is annoying. I think you
cover up the TV world.
She knows
Yeah,
it.
I know. Trust me.
As a player, though, you gotta adjust, man. You figure out when to take your naps. I was always cool with being able to fall asleep. That's what I saw. It was always good for me.
You and Steve McNair.
Yeah, just tell me what time we need to be up. Cool. I'm going out.
I have more life and energy like the later the time of day. Like, so at night, like, I would have been great with it. Like, let's go, man.
I'm cool with that. I prefer those games over early games for me.
Like 11 a.m.?
12, yeah. I don't want them. I never want them. I'm probably just going to sleep by 4.
No, the early games stink.
Yeah, them ain't nothing.
No matter what.
Them ain't nothing.
Yeah, them ain't.
I mean, like those college football games that when you're in
They
a
stink
central
too.
time zone, 11 a.m. kick, it's brutal. Oof.
Lethal Latin _615. What's the drink of choice right now at Ron Slay?
The drink of choice right now. I was on in here.
I don't know. Like, I think you could. Because
He
he's got.
said that night.
That night.
That night.
I was on Tito's, baby. Double Tito's, no ice. I got it warm.
Whoa.
I went warm.
Oh, my
Yeah,
Lord.
my blood was flowing. I told you when
You were ready to go.
When I said I
Furman
was a
was texting
trash
us.
talking machine.
You were at the game?
Yes.
Like, people on the floor could hear you?
Well, I couldn't wait. Boy, I timed it perfectly. I was sitting right. So,
Are you going to go to Detroit?
hell yeah, I'm going to Detroit. Think I'm missing any of this? No. Mace, we got to figure it out. I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm missing Friday. This is the thing. Hey, man.
Can we just do the show from there Friday?
Hell yeah, let's roll. We rolling, baby. I was
Wait,
when Al walked in, that let me know. So like you can go on and go berserk.
I saw Al Alizé, as you call it.
Yeah, Alizé. So he was sitting 3 chairs down from me.
He is so intimidating looking.
Hey, man. And be focused the whole time.
He
What
looks
about-
focused and angry watching a game.
Remember Zach Pillar? I saw Zach Pillar. By the way, the charity thing is going really well.
Oh, good.
So
By the way, it's on my Twitter and Instagram. There's like a link you
need to
can
retweet it
hit if you want to donate to the Rally Foundation. Rally on the Runway is April 18th, and Big Jeff, Jeffrey Simmons is in charge. It used to be Kevin Byard until he got traded away, and Big Jeff took it over. And so the Titans will be there to walk the runway with precious kids that are going through chemo treatment right now and battling for their lives for something that they should never have to deal with as a child. And it's an amazing cause. So
I saw Zach yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he told me that they're within about $10,000 of what they did last year already.
Wow. There we go.
And so he said he was very thankful for the 3HL listeners pounding away at that. Here's the other thing.
We have
like
the best listeners when it comes to that.
That is definitely true. So giving. If you're out and about and you go to neighbors to watch a game or whatever, there's a barcode on like every table that you can just take a picture of the barcode, click, and then donate $20 or $10 or $500, whatever you want to do.
Or $1.
Or $1, yeah.
Everything helps.
Right. But he said that was going well, so it was good to see him. I don't know where I was. Oh, so when he was in studio, now I think about Al Wilson, and I saw him, they showed him on television, and I think about what Zach said when I asked about the 98 Tennessee-Florida game when Tennessee won, Florida missed a field goal in overtime. Zach Pillar was on that Florida team. Mm-hmm. And he said, what I remember about Al Wilson is that he looked like he was 45 years old. And they had these like bags under his eyes, and he looked like he was more pissed than any person I've ever seen in my life.
Still look the same right now.
He looks the same.
He
really does.
RPF. Resting pissed face.
Resting pissed face. I wanted to ask you when I saw this. So Kim English is a former Tennessee assistant.
Yeah.
And he got a question at a press conference that was really weird that went viral like last week, a couple weeks ago during the conference tournament. Yeah. I was told to ask you if you're single because I guess he's good looking or something. I don't know. And he was like, I'm here to talk about my team. I mean, like, I don't like the moderator even said, you don't have to answer that. What is this? But he's the only coach to beat Kraton twice this year, former Vols assistant Kim English. How much conversation goes on with former assistants that might have some insight and some intel on a future opponent?
It would definitely be a conversation. It's conversation between players that run up against each other. Even when you get in these tournament atmospheres and you see guys that like same way they said after the Michigan State game, Tom Izzo went into the locker room and hugged Coach Barnes. Like this is a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? The coaches, and then separated from them, the players have the same thing. And so you're always going to be able to reach out, especially when you had a guy in this situation that gave you your look and your springboard to get that job.
I was going to say, when you know what I mean? Like, who mentored you.
Yeah, like who would you not want? Would you not want to see him win? Like
you ain't going to not tell him.
Exactly.
Or talk to him.
Yeah, and it's going to be more of him reaching out type of thing than Coach Barnes having to. So, and I'm sure whoever's doing the scout would be all ears. And, it's certain ways that you got to play people, and certain people got your number. It always helps to have somebody, a resource that you can call on that is in that conference, seen them play other teams and know how they respond to and he knows what Tennessee's blueprint is.
Right.
So he can offer some perspective on, like, here's what you might want to do.
Yep.
Knowing y'all and knowing
do.
them.
Yeah.
And this is how they might attack
you.
you.
For that.
Yeah, no question. No question about it.
I think back to Hugh Freeze when he was at Ole Miss. He had Nick Saban's number.
Yeah.
Just somehow he had the formula to beat Alabama when nobody was beating Alabama,
Yeah, and Kim English, long time rumored to be the next guy. If Rick Barnes goes to the Final Four and steps away, that's the primary candidate.
What are you putting out there?
I'm just telling you. Look at Slay's heard it too.
Oh,
look at him. He didn't.
I know. Slay did not say a word.
I think he had to get the chip.
You think it's so? What I heard over the weekend was like a Final Four run might do it. Not that he would, but that he would consider it strongly.
Only reason I say he would come back, it would be a situation like Saban. There's no way you can. You got to imagine this entire team's coming back besides Dalton Connect.
Ooh,
Josiah
I
and
wouldn't
Santi.
leave that.
You know what I'm saying? You got.
Although those are some important ones.
Yeah, but you got SEC first team. You got Adu, who's emerged.
Well, if you look at the difference between Adu last year and this year, if he makes a similar jump, then he's one of the best players in the country.
One of the best big, without question.
One of the best bigs,
for
sure.
You know what Zakai's going to bring.
Well, and Slay, you have inside knowledge, too, to what is sitting on that bench.
Right, exactly.
So you know a little bit more, too, at what this team can be.
You've said on this show the best pro prospect outside of Connect is sitting on the bench hardly playing.
Yeah, Cameron Carr. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Can play.
What game was it that he came in? I started texting you. It was Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He came in for like 2 minutes, scored 10 points.
Yep.
with a dunk and 2 threes.
No, the man, he ain't seen a shot he don't like. So that's something good to have in your wheelhouse.
Who impressed you outside of Tennessee as we look to the Sweet 16 and kind of redo everything just mentally? Who impressed you?
Man, of course, right away you're gonna say Houston because that was the last impression against Texas A&M. That was probably the best game of the tournament.
Those 3 dudes that they have are relentless.
Yeah, they are. LJ Cryer, I remember him when he was a freshman at Baylor on that championship team. And I was wondering, where'd he go? And all of a sudden, there he is.
There he is.
He's been there with Houston doing the exact same thing, shooting great. So they got some guys, man. And Shed, he's just a different
Shed looks
character.
like Mark Aguirre to me.
Yeah, that man dude can go. Trying to think. Gonzaga was impressive.
I thought so too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give Edie credit. Is Edie looked dominant, and it wasn't
Edie.
It wasn't one of those unskilled. It was like, man, let me just go dominate, get this out the way, and it's done with. And that's what it looked like. It was like, sheesh. I see why Purdue's able to run off because you get so many doses of him, and you. I think Stan Van Gundy put it perfectly. You cannot continue to foul him. He's gonna score. You just got to defend him well, and when he misses, get the rebound and go the other way. You cannot try, we're going to put him on the line, do all this. So I thought that was dope.
I was I had to take Baby Bab somewhere, so I was listening to the coverage on our station, and the commentator was like, all right, yep, there's an 8-inch difference between Edie and who was guarding him.
Yeah.
I'm like, 8 inches?
Yeah, it ain't just.
That's a lot.
No, just do your work before.
I don't know what you do with them right now because they're shooting the 3 so well. Yeah. So last year, and this has been their thing, is that they couldn't hit the 3. So, you would just simply double down on him and shade off of other people. They were 276 in America in three-point shooting last year, Purdue. You know what they are this year? 4.
Yeah, makes sense.
That is
better shooters around them.
And so, I get the whole thing. You watch over the weekend, and it's like you double down, and he passes it out. And if you don't, then he scores and throws that hook shot in. But, it's basically post up. If he doesn't have far enough position down low, he'll go do a high pick and roll, and then that's it. Those are their 2 plays.
I thought they started off great with him, putting him in the mix, making him make decisions whether he was going to switch defensively. They just went away from it by trying to play. That's the thing. In tournament, the lights get so bright, you make a couple shots, you become a hero in a sense, and you automatically go away, even if it's just for a moment. That moment can turn into a 10-2 run that you can never get back. And that's what they weren't able to do, be able to get back to what kept them in the game in the first place. And
that's a great point.
It was different. So
that's where the tournament's different.
Man.
And that's where a Yale can
that's where they get it.
Take out my Tigers.
Consistent. You're right.
I know you were pissed.
Oh, my gosh.
It's one thing to lose to, Kansas or something.
Yeah, that's you can accept
the Ivy League?
Yeah.
I was pissed, too, from an SEC perspective. A few players of note. Harrison Ingram for Carolina shooting 50% from 3. So you know about Baycott and R.J. Davis. But Harrison Ingram shooting 50% from 3. Also, Terrence Shannon Jr. for Illinois averaging 30.5 points per game in their 6-game win streak that they have going on right now. They're kind of like Alabama, Kentucky. They can score. They don't play well defensively. So their analytics are way messed up offensively and defensively. So then you've got Klingon for UConn's been ridiculous. 16.5 points per game, 11 rebounds. He's got 8 block shots in 2 games.
How can we forget about NC State?
Shooting 78% field goal.
That?
And NC State, yep. They've won 7 in a row now.
7. That's
7
crazy.
games in a week and a half.
That's crazy. I don't know how you get that hot and stay that hot.
I don't know, because that coach was about to be gone. Now he's got a 2-year extension.
Yeah, the truck was already loading up. He had to call him and tell me, hey, man, unpack my stuff.
Yep.
All right, when we come back, we got point spreads for the Sweet 16. We'll do that next, and then we'll go football in the 4 o'clock hour. 615-737-1045. Diggins Turf and Landscape Supply, that's where you need to go to get that lawn looking amazing, and we're right there in it. We've got mid to upper 70s temperatures coming, and we've got you in need of getting in touch with them. DigginsSupply.com is the website. Trey Hartsook is here with more about Diggins Turf and Landscape Supply. Trey.
Hey, Brent, what's up, man? Hey, I'll tell you, it really is starting to feel like spring here at Diggins Turf and Landscape Supply. It's been nonstop all day, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Toro Spring Sales Event is going on. We have been pushing out a ton of shiny red Toro lawnmowers. So it's that time of year. If you need a new lawnmower machine, look no further than Toro. Get online, do your research, or if you just want to come in and talk to us, we'd love to talk to you about your new lawn machine because nobody wants it to be really hot outside and you need to mow your grass. Mower won't start. Something's wrong. Dickens Supply can help you with that as well, but that's not what we want. We want you to have a pretty new Toro with a great warranty. Stop in and see us. We'd love to talk to you about that. A lot of people always asking, what do we need to be doing right now on our turf? Now's the time of year we need to be taking care of weeds. Weeds are everywhere out there right now with all the rain we've been getting. Just don't accept them. A lot of people will just say, hey, I got some weeds out there, but overall it's pretty green. You don't have to be that way. Stop into a Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. We'll get you a selective herbicide that you need to get those things wiped out. Any and all questions for outside lawn equipment, stop in and see us. We'd love to talk to you. We're conveniently located all over Middle Tennessee. Got locations in Nashville, Hendersonville, Murfreesboro, Bellevue, Brentwood, Lumber, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. If you can't get a hold of us, check us out online, DickensSupply.com.
All right, guess what this month is? Yeah, you just heard it's getting warmer and all that, but it's also truck month. So you need to call my friends at Two Rivers Ford. I might be doing that. If you are thinking about purchasing a new Ford truck, the time is now at Two Rivers Ford. They've got financing rates as low as 1.9%. They've got no payments for 90 days. They've got bonus cash offers, all these things they could do during truck month, all on top of Two Rivers Ford low prices. They always sell below MSRP. In fact, they sell way below MSRP. The best part about truck month, no pressure. Two Rivers Ford never pressures you. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and if you want to test drive, but you're not ready to purchase, it's not a problem. They will even schedule a test drive for you at your house, whatever makes it easiest for you. There is a reason that Two Rivers Ford has been a landmark local business in our community for over 40 years. There's a reason they are one of the top Ford dealers in the nation. Just won the President's Award again. Two Rivers Ford, give them a call. They are the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Welcome back in to 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone. You know who it is. You know what time it is. We got to hit on one thing, Babsy. The people in the chat have been asking about it. You know, you can always reach out as Babsy hits her tune on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Babsy, do you know the question that the people continue to ask? That
Yes. Vanderbilt has a new head basketball coach.
That is right.
Mark Byington.
Is that how you say his name? How you say his name, Yor? Byington?
James Madison.
Byington.
Byington?
Are you Byington?
Are you buying Byington?
I don't know what to think about him. What do y'all know about him?
I don't know much. I do know an alum that played with me at Oak Hill who's really tied into JMU. I'm waiting on him to respond. I'm sure he'll have something on it. But as first watch,
That's a great place.
oh boy, I automatically went to
You
that
just
waffle.
thought about
and
your
that-
waffle.
I mean,
I know, you
golly,
love that thing.
Jeez, but dang, I'm going to get that tomorrow morning.
If you're new to the show, this is how our brains work.
Yep.
We go from Vandy Hardy goes to how great First Watch is.
I'm going to get that tomorrow morning. Y'all meet me there. This is when I'm looking at it, the growth. You see the wins that he was able to get at JMU. You can understand why he would be up for a job. Why this job, I'm not sure. I would love to know where he fell on the depth chart as far as the coaching is being hired. I know they said they were after Dusty May at FAU. He took the Michigan job.
Yeah.
And there's plenty other big jobs as far as Power Fives go that's opening up.
Dusty May is a name I heard late Friday into Saturday morning.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So that's a good one. We also heard Chris Beard. You heard Drew Maddox.
Will Wade.
Will Wade, for sure. Like, you got some names out there. Where did he fall on that? And did these other ones balk at it or not even answer the call for it?
I never heard Byington's name.
I didn't
Which
either.
we'll never know.
No, we will never know.
No, but
Here's one thing, though. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you said I never heard Byington's name. That's Candace Lee, though. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you remember when she hired Clark Lee? That name didn't come out until like
Right before.
2 days before.
Okay.
I mean that was everything was kind of a done deal before his name was
Right.
leaked.
I
as the
will say
football
this:
coach.
had this is an indictment on me, but we were off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it's not like I was out there chasing it
Right.
necessarily.
Right.
Probably would have heard some, but it.
But yeah, here's one thing about him: 12 seasons as a head basketball coach, one NCAA tournament, one CBI tournament.
Right.
Lost in first round of the CBI when he was at Georgia Southern, and then lost in the round of 32. Beat Wisconsin. I told y'all that was the most confident pick I was in on Wednesday.
You were all in on that.
Was that Wisconsin is not good.
Yeah.
James Madison's going to beat them.
I bet on them too. I had them beating Duke in the next round. They were a shell of themselves. I don't think they played that bad.
What happens? Was that more matchup or is that more like, holy crap,
Dog.
we're a win away from the Sweet 16?
I don't even think it was that. I think it was Duke looking at them as we're not playing without food. And we see what you did
Right.
against Michigan State.
Because
We see the way
we've
you
done
played.
it before.
Yeah,
I love that
We've been there.
analogy.
We're not playing around with it. We're going to get you out the way.
I
And
love
they
that
did
analogy.
They imposed their will,
That's
man.
the best they played all year.
all year long.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So they didn't want to have
And
that.
I feel like
that
it's
defeat.
not even close.
No, it wasn't. And to me, that's as worse as I've seen JMU play all year long.
Right.
Especially against big name schools on that stage. They look like they've been able to handle it to give you about 40 something. That's tough, but
He's never won his conference outright. He did tie for first in the COVID year, 13-7, 8-2 in conference play. But then they finished 8th in the conference, 4th in the conference, then this year 2nd in the conference, but did get to the NCAA tournament. 32-4 though.
I do know when he took the Georgia Southern job, because a lot of people want to go back and look at, obviously, you look at his body of work. That program was a disaster when he took over. Like, disaster.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I just want to hit on
that is what it is.
Yeah.
Ricky says, keep in mind, Byington has been coaching single big conference for a while. Yeah, but Georgia Southern, and Don can comment on why this is the way it is, but tied for second, 5th, tied for third, tied for second, tied for 4th. So it's not like,
He was dominating it.
yeah.
Right.
That's
Well, and then in Georgia Southern to JMU is a lot of people look at that and say, oh, that's a lateral move, but that it's not. Just
I said that
knowing-
because they're in the same conference.
Right. But knowing James Madison, knowing the resources you have there, knowing who actually is retiring, or I want to say just retired this month, the athletic director there, but the president, that school, all of that, they are all in on athletics. They are all in on making sure that the funding is there, that they are taking that next step. So I look at JMU as a different level as far as buy-in from your administration and your program and all that from Georgia Southern. So
All right.
just to point that out.
Let me hit these point spreads, and then we'll go football at the 4 o'clock hour. Jerry Sneed, what's going on there? Still not officially done.
Get her done.
We'll talk about that. Also, injury concerns. Is he going to fail the physical, or what's going to happen there? We'll talk about it. 6-seed Clemson, 2-seed Arizona at 6:09 p.m. CBS on Thursday. The early game, 6.5. Arizona favored over Clemson. 5-seed San Diego State, 1-seed UConn. Funny with the committee, man. So that's a repeat of last year's national championship game. UConn favored by 10.5 at 6:39 on Thursday on TBS. Alabama, the 4-seed against number 1 seed North Carolina. Carolina by 3.5, 8:39 p.m. CBS on Thursday. Illinois, Iowa State, 3-seed against 2-seed. Iowa State, 2.5-point favorite, 9:09 p.m. on Thursday. Friday games, NC State, the 11-seed. We were talking about them winning 7 games in a week and a half against the 2-seed Marquette. Shaka Smart and the guys favored by 6.5. That's the early game at 6:09 p.m. on Friday on CBS. Gonzaga, 5-seed versus Purdue. Zach Edey, if you haven't seen him play, watch him. He's 7'4". The 1-seed favored by 5.5. 6:39 p.m. TBS, True TV. The late games on Friday, Duke, 4-seed against Houston, 1-seed. Houston by 3.5, 8:39 p.m. CBS. Fun team to watch, and Duke is hot. 3-seed Kraton against 2-seed Tennessee. Tennessee, a 2.5-point favorite. 9:09 p.m. TBS True TV. What's the latest on L'Jarius Sneed? We'll talk about it next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. And whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, Sprinter, van, maybe you got a bunch of kids that you need to fit into one vehicle. You can do it. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They're ready to help you out. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. That's where you'll get it done. There will be no pressure on you at all. They simply want you in the vehicle that's right for you. So tell them what you're looking for. Maybe you need less of a payment. Maybe you need something more gas efficient. Maybe you need something bigger, smaller, whatever the case may be. Just let them know. You'll take your test drive. You'll go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 24 West or Clarksville, exit 35. It's about 9 miles outside of downtown Nashville. Then a straight shot, beautiful drive into Springfield, Tennessee. Best car buying, vehicle buying experience you've ever had. 3450 Tom Austin Highway, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online. All of the dealership information is there. All the inventory is there as well. That's GuptonMotors.com. Check them out. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Not many people out here like to play in the dark. Yes, I'm talking about running around in haunted houses. You have to be a character to want to jump out and scare people on Halloween to be one that loves to sit in the dark. I think that way. But if you don't want to be that person in your own home, when the lights go out, power's out, don't be scared. No, Cove Generators, it will pop on immediately. You get your home generator, standby generator, it cannot miss, because when your power goes off the grid, Cove Generators make sure your home is protected. You can ask Generator Dave, Babsy.
Yes, Generator Dave is there. He's the expert on everything generators. You can actually just reach out on their website, covegenerators.com, and ask Generator Dave a question. Cove Generators, family owned. You're dealing with someone who cares, and your technician, your project manager, will stay with you for the life of your generator. A lifetime partner to help you and make sure that when weather hits and the power goes out, you are taken care of and your home is protected. Get an estimate on your Generac home standby generator from Cove Generators. Just call them at 931-559-3311 or go visit them online, covegenerators.com.
Stay connected through it all.
Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hogg. The NFL has approved a few rule changes so far today, one of which is the swivel hip drop tackle that has been debated for a few years. It will now be a 15-yard penalty if it is flagged during a game. The NFL media wants to change Hard Knocks. They want the criteria for teams in the preseason to be let up so it gives them more options on teams, and the Hard Knocks in-season version, NFL media would like for it to now not just be about one team, but be about an entire division. Also, 49ers General Manager John Lynch says wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is not available for trade, as he has talked with the media at the annual NFL meetings. And Vanderbilt has hired James Madison head coach Mark Byington to be its next coach. His 4 seasons at James Madison, he went 82-36. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Monday. Dawn Davenport is here.
Hey! That's right. Happy Monday to you, people.
Lady Vols were down 1 after the first quarter. They are now down 18 at halftime.
What? See, I'm
49-31.
NC State at home, man.
You turn your attention away, and then they just feel it. Like, we ain't got Slade watching.
Nope. I ain't.
It was on behind you.
Darn, y'all.
Darn.
Well, Rakid Jackson, we had a ball with you. You'd be the top 3 pick in the draft.
How about, can I just give a real quick shout out?
Shoulder shrug, yes, of course.
Yes.
A real quick shout out.
That's such a Davenport move. Maybe you learned it from her.
It's eye rolls and shoulder shrugs.
That's right.
Yeah, shout out.
In the S word.
Shout outs presented by
Your mom and
Your
them.
mom
your
and
mom
them.
and them. Yeah.
To women's basketball right now.
Oh, it's perfect.
Crushing.
Because it's crushing. They're rocking it. And like I remembered, what was it? It was just a couple years ago.
Do you remember?
It was more than a couple years, I think. But remember the TikTok that went viral with the women's weight room was just like the stack of weights.
That was in the COVID.
Yes.
Yes.
Like how different. And their food was like prepackaged.
I wish they would
and
do that to them now.
the boys or the men's, had all the fresh hot food out and all that. I'm like, God, look at how far even in
That fast.
3 or 4 years this women's game has come. So just a nice little quick shout out
big shout out
to the ladies.
And without social media, none of this probably would have even been able to take off like that because it was still been hidden.
Well, and the
And they
Angel
would-
Reese's and the Caitlin Clarks. There's a Caitlin Clark commercial right
And
behind
it's
you.
tabbed with March Madness now.
Yes, and it was not
It wasn't at
allowed
first. Yep.
before.
You know
then.
what's funny about this commercial? I wonder how many people are like, oh, that's Caitlin Clark. Who's the guy next to her? It's Jimmy Butler. Did you even know that?
No,
See?
I've never even seen it.
but I haven't watched the commercial with sound on. Like I've only seen it without. But no, I had no
but I
idea.
wonder if that's where
but
we are right
everybody
now.
knows who Caitlin
Everybody
Clark
knows
is.
who she is.
Yeah.
Even if you don't watch women's basketball, which, I mean, watch her. Seriously.
Really fun.
But the elite teams are so freaking good.
Yeah.
So if we
And
get
it's better than it used to be. It used to be the elite teams and that was it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing behind it. It's better.
right, and this tournament's pretty much chalk. Like the only non-chalk game we had the first day was MTSU winning, 11 seed over a 6 seed. But if you get the South Carolina-Iowa matchup in the championship game, by far the most watched women's basketball game in ever and not close.
And what's the name? Set it off before that.
Iowa and
LSU.
LSU.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're gonna they're going to break that record.
615-737-1045. I got some unbelievable stats
What
from
you
that,
got, your?
from that Tennessee-Texas game that I'll get to in just a little bit. But first, L'Jarius Sneed.
Man, boom, boom, boom.
Is he going to be a Titan?
It's
Scale
not a
1 to
done
10?
deal yet.
Yeah,
I mean, yes,
I'm
is
going
the
9.5.
answer. 9.5 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'm right there
the
with you.
half is
Half
failed
is-
physical.
Yeah, and this is. I mean, you got to have
I mean,
a blink of
Well,
it's not done yet.
the longer something like this goes, the more time reporters have to go, well, he's got bad knees and all of this
Or,
stuff.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, the funny thing about it, like, also the longer it goes on, the funny thing about it to me is to hear, like, local people just completely dog it.
Yeah.
But it's the same people that dog anything.
Who's
if
dogging it?
If they didn't go after L'Jarius Sneed, then they dog that.
Yeah.
I don't know, people.
Call in.
Call in.
If you're dogging this move, call in. I want to hear from you.
This in our eyes was a power move.
I just think, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they do their due diligence. So, like, yeah, you do miss on some, and some guy will pop a knee or something. Like, I get it, but I mean, it's sports, right? Like, things happen.
Yeah.
But
call in if you don't like this move. I just want to hear why.
I think it's amazing. We'll go through.
Maybe it's the money. Some people
No, I think that.
I think the money is an issue.
I
but
think you baby slick robbed him.
do you know what? Do you know what?
I love it when you throw baby into it.
Baby Sneed.
When you throw baby into the water,
I'm just saying, man.
baby slick robbed him.
He couldn't. Hey, that's a top notch corner.
Well, Andy Reid said at the NFL owners meeting, he said, "Look, we love him as a player. We would have loved to have had him long term, but you're under these constraints of a salary cap in the NFL.
You got a lot of other
They
guys.
They had to
Look at
clear.
Chris Jones.
Yeah. And
Did he
and
make some
Patrick
money?
Mahomes.
Right. Then they got another
He's kind
corner
of
that they
good.
just got there. It's going to be up soon. Forgot
Yes.
his name, but on the opposite side. He's
Yeah.
a dog. So
I love it because here's the deal, and this is what I said coming in: the moves that Rand has made are not for this year.
right.
They're not.
Nope.
They are long term. We just short up our secondary
Yep.
or short up our corner position
Yeah.
for
Both
the
of
next
them.
3 years at least.
Yep.
Right? Roger McCreary's come along. I mean,
Inside, yep.
that all of a
Uze.
sudden you're in a good spot.
Yep.
And it's not this year. This is not a here 1 year deal. Let's go win a championship. J-Rob was all in
Yeah.
that 1 year, right? Which some of those bills came due and is why half
why
the
we're
reason
here.
the Titans are where they are. Yeah.
Missed on enough, yeah.
Right, exactly. But what Rand is building here is the next 2 to 3 years to have your pieces in place and go make a run.
You've said that consistently, and you're right. It's interesting. I pulled up on SpotTrack.com. Average age of signed players. Titans are now the 5th youngest team in the NFL.
That's so important.
Beautiful.
Because before all this,
And you know what? What? Before all this.
I mean, wasn't the problem that they were too old?
That's what someone was saying.
And
And you know
just
what?
bad.
You know what I missed about last year?
Well, yeah.
I missed so bad.
That's an important thing.
I didn't get to call this defense nasty. And this right here is setting the stage.
You hadn't said it in
But
a while.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
No.
We one player away, and that's one person being able to rock with Big Jeff. Give me one more. Well, 2. Because you still need a linebacker. 2 linebackers, but you need 1 linebacker. And you need 1 more person inside. Still got a lot of pieces, but I'm just saying.
The longer
I'm
you
able to
talk.
fix my mouth to say nasty.
Yes.
Almost.
You're at least right
Yeah,
there.
I'm-
You saw Big Jeff's tweet, though.
Yes,
You know what?
Let me help you.
He said that secondary 3 exclamation points. Yes, Lord! Exclamation point. Help me, help you! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Chiefs DB coach Dave Merritt said this about L'Jarius Sneed. Quote: He's the most aggressive corner I've coached in my 27 years. He's like a Navy SEAL. You give him an assignment and he goes out and gets it done. Andy Reid said that they put L'Jarius Sneed on the other team's best receiver and he traveled with him.
There you go.
When's the last time Titans had a corner like that?
God.
Finnegan, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finnegan traveled.
Yep.
Oh, that was, sorry, Corwin. That was a while ago.
It was a while.
He he was a very emotional player, chip on his shoulder guy. One of my favorites to cover.
Yeah, he's such a good hang too. If you see him out and about, because he is out and about a lot. Does a lot in the community and out there having a good time.
He
Also,
had a shoe brand for a while.
did he?
I have him in my closet. They're awesome.
Cortland in your closet. 615-737-1045. I think a lot of people forget that he ran a 4.37 at the combine also, L'Jarius Sneed. So, quick guy.
Yeah.
Very physical. So, you combine him with Cheeto and McCrary, then you've got 3 really physical guys out there. 615, and you're much better at corner. I mean, how big of a weakness was that last year? And now with these 3, on paper, you're good. Like, anybody got any concerns about them right now?
Help me help you. No.
615-737-1045. Carter in Nashville. Carter, what up?
Hello?
Hey, Carter.
You don't like the move.
What?
Do you not like the Sneed move? What you got?
I think that he is my favorite cornerback ever, but I think that I could do better.
That's quite a sentence.
Yeah.
It's my favorite corner ever, comma, but I think I could do better.
Because that's putting you. I love
That's a lot
that.
of confidence.
Nah,
Yeah.
because that's letting you know that. Oh man, you shoot for the moon. You don't get the stars.
Carter's
I like
out
that.
here, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ready.
I'm rocking with it, Carter. Yes, sir. Love it.
Okay, so he does like the move. All right.
Bro. Yeah, but he can do better. I'll take Carter.
Thanks, Carter. Let us know when you're draft eligible.
Because man, we definitely online for you.
Yep.
Thank you, Carter.
Definitely.
Oh, he left.
What
he
is
said
it?
what he had to
Listen,
say.
he
Is
just
he
wanted to-
supposed to be in school right now?
He
Or
just
is he
wanted-
out?
Listen,
on the school bus.
He wanted to let everybody know how good he was, and then I'm out. Like, I don't need to hear anything else.
Yeah, like what?
What else is there to
y'all hear
say?
me?
It's
Y'all-
4
what else?
o'clock. He and his buddies called in from the school bus.
Yeah. Somebody said, was that Carter Finnegan?
615-737-1045. Hear from the head coach, Tennessee Titans coach Brian Callahan at the owners' meetings today. And Slay's been waiting on this.
What's that, Earl?
Brian Callahan, among other things, you'll hear him comment on the additions and changes to the team's strength and conditioning staff. You've been on that for a minute.
Yes, that's important. That's as important as him getting his O-line, OLJ to get him come down here and coach.
OLJ. All right.
his pops, everybody.
Hear from Titans head coach Brian Callahan next on 104.5 The Zone.
Man, it's going to be fun. Season's going to be a fun next month, too, when the draft happens. Imagine how fun it would be, too, to wake up this time next week and be 100% debt-free. No credit card debt, no car loan, no personal loan, none of those high-interest loans that are out there. Well, you can with Loan Pronto. And Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval to turn your home equity into cash in like 10 minutes with almost no documentation, with no appraisal, with no hassle, because we all have hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home right now that you can get, and you can use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner that works with Loan Pronto ends up saving over $850 a month by doing this. Call them right now to get the process going, 615-499-5780. You can always visit them online and start there. That's what I did, and it was super easy because I didn't have to dig through and find 8 million documentation things to do it. You can start there at loanpronto.com. It's 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
What's happening, good people? Listen real carefully. If you're feeling a little tired, a little grumpy, you notice lack of motivation and drive, weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could be signs of low testosterone levels. You need to get that in order. All you got to do is go to Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in 25 minutes. Right now, $25 to get your T levels tested. Make your health a priority. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. What up?
I don't know. We got a good vibe going in here. I know that. Maybe it's Joe Hunk. What up, Hunk?
Sup?
What's wrong with your little voice right there?
I was having to stretch across the board to get to the mic.
Sup?
Look at you, man. The yoga's paying off.
Yeah.
Hunk doing yoga?
No.
Oh.
There ain't no
I
way.
could be.
No.
Stop.
Stop.
Okay, you ain't even told us about that, huh?
It's coming. It's coming. It's going to be part of that home gym experience I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Lady Vols have cut the lead to 10.
Hey, walk it down.
Minute and a half to go, third quarter.
It ain't over.
It
ain't
was
over.
It was 20. They've cut it down to 10. They're wearing they're calling it the Pat Summit blue now.
Yeah,
I
I like that.
love
I
those.
saw some mock-ups online that with the Tennessee football uniform in that color.
They wore accents of
Ooh,
that.
I don't know if you can.
They wore what
No,
the game? They
this-
wore like the arm sleeve.
Yeah, but this is like full
in the
on
jersey?
like
You can't do that. That's Ole Miss.
Is it? It is Ole Miss.
but other people do it.
I like leaving it to the Lady Vols, letting them have their own.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Ole Miss, how about Ole Miss football coach Lane Kiffin tweeted 2 fire emojis at
saw
Vol_hoops.
I saw that. I wish some people
He's a
just stay
clown.
away. Yeah, just stay away. Yeah, like come on, dog.
Did you see what he tweeted after Auburn lost?
I saw that. That was
It was like an hour after Auburn lost, and
I
he
saw
quote
that.
tweeted Auburn's pre-game tweet saying, "Let's go,
Mm-hmm.
dancer or whatever." And he was like, "Oh yeah, good luck, guys."
Yeah.
So he's a clown for that.
Yeah, I'm done with him now.
Okay.
I'm with you on that though, Babsy.
Down
Get
to
outta
8.
here.
Down to 8, Slay Dog.
Walk it down.
8-0 run in the last minute and a half. I love basketball, man.
Ain't nothing like this time.
Especially tournament basketball. Some NFL notes. I do want to celebrate great things that happen locally. Congrats to MTSU pitcher Chandler Alderman. Over the weekend, threw a no-hitter. 4th
Nice.
no-hitter in Blue Raider history. So congrats to MTSU baseball and to Chandler Alderman. And to
so
whoever
cool.
made great defensive plays that allowed that to happen.
Most definitely.
Because you need your teammates for something like that. Also, Broncos coach Sean Payton on the possibility of moving up to get a quarterback. Quote, "It's realistic," end quote.
Who's that? Sean Payton?
Yep, they have the 12th pick. And so, now, when you see mocks, you start to see 5 quarterbacks in the top 12, which obviously helps the Titans, right? Because if you want to move back, then you've got people actually wanting to move up to get guys. And if there are 5 legit dudes, then you really do improve your chances. Chargers coach Jim Harbaugh says former Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy is the best quarterback in the draft. Said he's a killer that can handle a major market.
Ain't no killer, but don't put.
I saw somebody retweet that and write, okay, then trade Justin Herbert and draft him.
That makes sense too.
Oh, man.
Probably go with them.
You got Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and Bo Nix now sneaking into the top 12.
Sneak on in there.
There went the eye roll and the shoulder shrug.
Yeah, she probably like Babs like nah. As long I'm with Babs as
Go
long as I
ahead.
go get my tackle, I'm cool.
Move back. Draft capital.
And to where and do what? Like make sure. Listen, man.
I don't know.
Don't make this turn into this. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna speak that into existence because it can't happen because we're cooking too good right now. All I'm saying is the right thing will be done. We're going to go get that old tackle.
What do I always say? Don't screw it up.
I'm with Babs.
Just don't screw it up.
She does, man. You nervous about doing something, and she'll be like, I'll be like, hey, I got to do this speech or something like that. I don't like public speaking at all, which I know sounds funny given what I do for a living. But and she'll be like, hey, just don't screw it up.
Pressure's on. Thanks, Babs.
I did a
got
Rotary
you.
Club thing one time, and I was like, what do y'all want me to talk about? What do I even talk about? I don't know. I'm not interesting.
Rotary Club, isn't that for like older people too?
I don't know. It was in Clarksville.
I think older people. I did a Rotary Club one time. It was older people.
No, it's like business people.
Oh, okay. Well, mine was older people. I was an older Rotary Club that day.
Somebody
It was a good
that's
time, too, though.
exceptionally famous in the TV network world told me that they were uncomfortable with that kind of stuff too. And he said, set up a Q&A. Tell them to have somebody there to ask you questions. Because doing what we do, we can answer questions.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it. Slade's great at it. Dawn, you're great at it. But, like, the thought of me standing in front of a bunch of people for, like, 30 minutes.
I'm pretty cool.
Like, I'm like, who wants to hear me talk?
That's what I say. I just don't do it. I'm like, I'll come hang out at your meeting, but I'm not going to speak. You don't want me to speak or anything.
I'll speak to you. I just won't.
Didn't you have something over the weekend?
I did. I hosted.
Tell us about this, Babsy.
No. I hosted
yes.
a
You didn't tell us
Q&A
about it,
with
though.
Missy Franklin.
You would get on us if we went and did something and you saw it on social media and you didn't tell us about
Here's
it.
the thing.
I
You get
know.
away with so much.
I saw
with
her
us.
on Thursday, late Thursday afternoon, evening, or whatever, and then she didn't even tell me about it.
Come
I
on,
know,
Babsy.
I didn't. I had too many things that I had to do prior to that to, like, think about it.
Meanwhile, you just leave us alone with your
feel
husband
me?
And a
Yeah,
bunch of-
that's always dangerous.
and a bunch of alcohol.
I'm like, don't
That's
worry,
great.
I'll take care of the family. I got the dogs and the toddler.
You could have just brought Hadley down there.
Oh, Lord.
So Babs' husband hosted an event for his work, like clients and stuff like that. And so then we crashed at the party.
Yes.
And so, like, then people are like, oh, who are you with? And I'm like, I'm not buying.
I'm just here for the party.
I'm not buying furniture. You can let go of that.
Yes. Yes. By the way, if anybody needs office furniture, Mr. Babs is your guy.
Reach out.
Let me know.
He's great. But yeah, so how'd your thing go Friday?
Good. It was great. So Missy Franklin, you guys know, Olympic swimmer, 5-time gold medalist, won
Did
them.
a bunch of TV in Knoxville, right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I might be thinking of
I
somebody
think you're
else.
thinking of somebody else because
Okay.
she's from Colorado.
Okay.
Like she was the story of the, what was it, 2012 Olympics.
I got you.
She was
Yep,
17
yep.
years old, swimming, won 5 gold medals, then went back and battled some injuries and is very open about battling kind of mental health things and feeling, speaking of pressure, don't screw it up, right? So she talked a lot about, you know, how different her Olympic kind of experiences were and how you get through disappointment and how you lead and all of that. She was phenomenal. And actually, her and her husband live in town now.
Oh, cool.
They moved here. Yeah. So very cool to have Missy Franklin here in our community because she's amazing. So, yeah, it was cool. And here's the funny thing. She opens up her purse. We're about to go up there for our Q&A. It was like an hour long. And some great questions too from the junior chamber people that were there. But she opens up her purse, pulls out a sock, pulls out 2 of her gold medals from the sock. I'm like, you just travel with those in your purse?
Just walking around.
Just
with
walk
those on.
around?
Like a
I'm like, how
passport.
does it work at security? She's like, well, sometimes
True.
it's great. You know, people are like, this is awesome. Da, 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 da. And she was like, and sometimes they're like, all right, carry on. This is
Yeah.
weird. You know?
She'd be like, I did
She's
this
like,
for my
it's hit or
country.
miss. Yeah.
Down to 6.
Hit or miss. Yes.
9:13 left.
So very cool.
I would have put him on. I would have asked her, let me hold one when we go to a bar or something.
They're
You put it
so
around your neck.
heavy.
Off immediately.
You would wear it all the time.
What?
They're really heavy.
Anytime I'm going out, I'm wearing it.
Yeah. And they're bigger than I thought they would
Like,
be.
yeah.
And
yeah.
she talked about like how there's something special in all of them. So the Olympics this summer in Paris,
Yeah.
every single medal has, she told me this. I'm not acting like I actually know anything about this.
you
but
do now.
I know
every-
one stat about the Olympics. I'll tell you after you tell me this.
Okay, so the Paris medals, every single medal has a piece, an original piece of metal in it from the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, man, that is cool.
How cool is that? She's like, I really wanted to come out of retirement for
It's
that
a lot
one.
cooler. A lot cooler than the story
Yeah.
I read.
All right, what's your Olympic?
They've handed out over 300,000 condoms, or they're going to.
Oh, geez, Mayor.
Over 300,000 condoms.
For the Olympics.
Like-
Yeah. That's what I read.
I mean, you're training so much that you don't have time for that until you get there and the hay's in the barn then?
Hey, somebody got a condom.
I mean,
Handing them out at the door.
No, everybody did. You don't need to ask.
It's like the direct opposite of the Kentucky Derby.
Oh
when those horses are successful, we send them to go do that.
Unk.
It's true.
See,
Oh.
every time.
How does this happen?
Every time.
Don,
You led with such a great story and
Right.
so much like Eiffel Tower and medals and this.
Like,
is what
this
we get
is
to.
exciting, you know.
Some things I know, though, like if I actually wrote this down to bring up like last week and just didn't get to it. But like some things I bring to the party, and I know that like I don't
he
need to
loves
tell
it.
Hunk before
No,
the
he
show
loves
because he's gonna have something.
look, Dawn even set me up earlier, and I bit my tongue back here to not say something on something she said
You did.
multiple times.
What? I missed
Zach
that.
Edey.
Absolutely. And how big of a difference it is between him and the guy defending him. I mean, 8 inches, Brent. I mean, 8 inches can make a big difference.
I'm glad I asked. My favorite part of Hunk's little quips now is watching Slay just immediately start shaking his head because he knows it's coming.
He can't resist, man.
He can't. He can't. I can't believe you didn't say that earlier.
I can't either.
The only reason I didn't is because I was taking a phone call at the very moment she said it. And I'd already said, 104.5 The Zone, who's this? And I was like, I can't put him on hold.
Can you imagine if we were on satellite radio?
Oh, gosh. Lord help us all.
The thing is, this Slay knows
Coming
it's
Howard
true.
Stern.
Here you go. You want to tie this back to football? Nick,
Yes, please.
you get us. He says whether it's an offensive lineman or a condom, we need the protection everywhere.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't
And there
wrong,
we
Nick.
go. We're back to football, baby.
Protection is key. 615-737-1045. Chris in Clarksville. Chris, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing this afternoon?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. So, just touching on the L'Jarius Sneed trade, Babs, I come in peace. I love the move. So, don't swear on me, but I love the move that they made. It just takes the secondary group to like a whole new level. I mean, you got him, you got Sneed, you got Awuzie, and then you put McCreary in the slot where he belongs. All you have to do is just fill the free safety spot where, you know, it's most likely going to be Marcus May for all we know. But, I feel really good about where this defense is going. I mean, they really need to just add Autry replacement and then give Kenneth Murray a running mate. So I don't know if they do that in the draft, whether it's Devondre Sweat in the second round or maybe a Junior Colson from Michigan, whatever it may be. They have options to help fill holes on that defense. But yeah, as far as the first pick that we have at 7, I'm with you Bad and Slay. I think they just need to they need to provide some protection to Will Levis and everything. Like it's
don't
good to have all these
complicate it,
weapons.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's don't overcomplicate it. Like get yourself Joe Walt or Olu Fashanu, whoever you feel is a better protector there. All these weapons aren't going to be good enough if Will Levis is on his back half the time. So that's where I'm at right now. Just don't overcomplicate it. Get Joe Walt at 7, and then just fill your rest of your holes on defense from there.
I get all of that, Chris. Thank you for the call. Very good.
Yes.
In terms of what you said with the secondary and
So
Coach
that's
Mack.
just the realistic,
Coach Mack
common
told us
sense guy right there.
with
I like it.
L'Jarius Sneed and Cheeto and McCrary, like you're not subbing any of those dudes out.
Right.
Hardly. So those are your guys, which is a great place to be.
Not that they can tackle or anything, because basically you're not allowed to in the NFL anymore.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Rules changes. He took the hip tackle out. But here's the thing. Y'all can't tell me you wouldn't be excited if they took Brock Bowers. You would get like 3 seconds of, man, they should have gone tackle. Then you would have seen the highlights as they pick them, and you watch the highlights on the NFL, on ESPN's coverage of the draft, and you'd be like, yes, let's go. I'm telling you, by the time the season rolled around and training camp and all this, y'all would be so interested in what Brock Bowers is doing out there. You would be.
I would be. The only problem is going to be when the ball is snapped. And there's no one there but Swarovski left to protect him. And Cushenberry.
OLJ.
When your quarterback is dead,
Listen, man.
he can't deliver the ball.
That's all I'm saying.
That's on him. Get rid of it quickly.
Cross him off then.
The
We
problem
don't
is you
wanna
can't cross him off because then you got Mason Rudolph, which I'm sure Mason's a great guy, and I know Big Savage loves him and all those
He went
things.
3-0 last year for the Steelers.
That's not a bad backup
that's
option.
not. It's actually not. I
I
just
love
don't
that
think
move.
that even OLJ need his disciples to work with.
Right?
Give them
It's
something.
Easter. We're
Yeah,
talking
give 'em
about
something, man.
church
Come
here.
on.
So y'all are going
Yep.
with y'all are going with the condom pick at 7, protection.
Yes.
I mean, okay, yeah.
OLJ for the condom pick.
From Jesus to condom and protection. That's
This is
where
how we
we are
break down
on
the draft
Monday.
right here.
It all wraps in.
Hey,
That's
y'all-
3HL in a nutshell.
I was
Yes,
going to
it
say,
is.
y'all can say what you want about us, but you ain't getting us anywhere else.
That is factual.
615-737-1045.
Luckily.
Reese and Laura out there. Reese and Laura, what y'all doing?
Oh, it's only going to get better.
Now it's
Hey,
going to get
guys.
worse.
Hey, what's up, baby?
Hey, I had several heart attacks the other night when Tennessee played Texas.
I think I did have some legit palpitations. I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I slept through the first half. I took me a nap, and then I woke up after halftime, and I was just on the edge of my seat going, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, I'm dying.
Big Slay, you with me?
Yeah, come on, Reese. You know I'm always with you and Laura.
All right, we got to make sure. So, number one, I know it's going to upset y'all a little bit, but I think we need that Dallas guy, the edge rusher, in the first round. This is the deepest offensive line draft in a long time. We can find somebody in the second round. We need somebody with the quarterbacks in our division. We've got to get them down. I mean, C.J. Stroud is not going to get any worse. So
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a minute.
I mean,
Dallas-
that's a legit point.
Dallas Turner. Starting to hear that name, actually, a little bit. Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama.
Look at the
Yeah,
quarterbacks
we-
in this division. Yeah.
We went down to watch him. He's supposed to come up to us. I think we get number two. If we're on XM radio, I wouldn't get kicked off for saying the S word. So let's try to get that going on.
Yeah, that has
Number
is true.
three,
You put that
I
on.
don't know how we go from Jesus to condoms, but again, XM radio. Yeah.
I want to know how you guys are going to handle a 10-10, or I guess 9-10
9-10 here. 909.
Tennessee basketball tip.
Well, I've done as soon as it was TBA and the time got announced. Now I'm not gonna lie, I said the words I'm not allowed to say on your show because I like to go to bed at 7 or 8. But what I did is I've done planned my work schedule around the game, and we're gonna take a midday nap after 7 beers, and we're gonna wake up an hour before the game, start pounding beers. And then we're instead of going in at 4 a.m., we're going to go in at 7 a.m. I've done texted the boss and approved all of this.
The whole plan. I love it.
I appreciate the
love
planning
this,
here.
You texted the real on whose phone? You don't have a phone. Plus, who's the boss? Laura?
No, she's not the boss. Laura's phone, my work boss. I done explained him the whole 3-day ordeal that we're going to plan in advance to get stuff done in the head. And then we're going to day drink when we get off early. We're going to take a nap. We're going to wake up for the game. We're going to stay up late, and then we're going to come in late. Our whole life is revolved around this ball game.
Okay, well,
And
that's good. It's
Laura
good.
napped during the first half. I didn't miss a second of it. I'm surprised I didn't wake her up. And I am sorry I missed the first hour there with the Sneed stuff. I had to walk Little Boo on my head and had Cup next to me on the sidewalk, scaring off all the neighborhood people in the ghetto. And we had this one set of walkers trying to get our beer cans out of the yard. And I said, you see them 12 cats in the window? I'm about to let them in the dog out so y'all don't get out of here. I mean, this
There's
is
a lot going on, Reese.
So
There's a lot going on.
Pandemonium day.
Pandemonium day. Pandemonium reigns. All
All
right.
right,
I
we
mean,
love you guys.
Big Slay.
take us out, Reese.
Snort.
Not yet.
Oh,
I know we're hard up against the break.
We are hard up.
We're up on the Reese.
We're 2.5-point favorites. I've not made anything but like 7 or 8 drunk bets this tournament because I've been so scared of it. I'm up like $40. I didn't want to bet on Tennessee because I didn't like 6.5 against Texas.
I did.
Laura wouldn't let me bet
I
on
did.
Texas or the Tennessee money line, so I left it alone knowing that we'd win but not cover. So I could have won 200 there. We're 2.5 against those fools from Nebraska, and I think our defense can shut them down. I'm thinking about 200 at minus 2.5. What do you think on that, Big Slay?
Run it.
All right, now we're doing 300 with your confidence. Big Slay, I know we're up against a break. I got a lot more to hit on. We'll have to call you back on Friday. What do we do, Big Slay? What do we do?
Get to
Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. We love y'all. We'll call
My
you on
man.
Friday. Go Big Orange. How about them Vols? Woo!
There they go.
Oh,
Tanner,
my
they're already worked up.
They ready to roll.
Game's not
baby.
till Friday. Tanner, sometimes I start to think that Reese and Laura are fictional characters, but some of this stuff you just can't make up. When we come
Imagine
back,
if somebody from New York heard that call.
I mean,
Hey, love that.
they're kind of like our Feinbaum call. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Gotta have them,
Brian Callahan on the additions and changes to the team's strength and conditioning staff. We'll do that next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, folks? Man, you tired of the mortgage industry and the grind of it? All of it. It's just becoming too much, man. Tired of the pressure, tired of the micromanaging everything to make sure your clients get handled correctly? Then you owe it to yourself to go whywesley.com for a confidential. That's right. Whywesley.com is real simple. Go on over there, man. Check them out. Wesley Mortgage, they're currently recruiting top mortgage talent, now hiring also. And listen, when it comes to Chuck McDowell, I vouch. The owner, he is a local Nashville native. I call him the boss. When you sit down with him and you talk to him, you'll understand why. But it's like talking to your good buddy that you went to school with a long time ago, and you're just now getting reacquainted with him. This is the vibes that Chuck gives off. Cares about the community and is proud to serve them. He reinvests in the people and the places that make Nashville such a wonderful place. While other mortgage companies are downsizing, Chuck McDowell and Wesley Mortgage, they're rapidly expanding. So why don't you be a part of the family? Come join the family. Wesley Mortgage, whywesley.com.
All right, speaking of family, how about Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville? For over 38 years, a family business since 1986. They've been making homes stunning with landscape lighting. Maybe you've been thinking about it and you think, I don't know if I need it. Let me tell you, you need it. It makes such a difference. We just did some lighting in our backyard, lit up our driveway. It is amazing. You can light up the night with outdoor lighting perspectives, festival lights, path lights, wall washing, tree lighting, area lighting. They also do maintenance on lighting systems that they did not install if you have issues with those. They are simply the best. And here's another great part of Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. You hear me talk about Rally on the Runway and the Rally Foundation, which raises money for childhood cancer. Well, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville has a Rally Foundation for Childhood Cancer team. It's called Light the Way. How perfect. And go ahead, if you've been thinking about doing outdoor lighting, call them now, because for all customers that buy a lighting install up until April 18th, that's when our event is, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives will give a $100 donation to Rally Foundation for Childhood Cancer Research in that customer's name. We're all working together here, and you'll have some amazing outdoor lighting. Go see my friends online, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville, at outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
3HL 1045, the Zone NFL owner meeting is going on, and there are a couple of rule changes that we will discuss probably in that 520 segment about kickoffs, onside kicks and kickoffs. They may go the XFL rule, and then the hip drop tackles.
Oh.
It's gone.
Which D'Amico Ryans, they voted him out. They've been banned. D'Amico Ryan said this: I don't coach the hip drop tackle. I've never seen it coached. It just kind of happens. Because
I feel like it's another one of those, though.
Yeah, he was talking about how you've taken the head so much out of the game that guys get to arm tackling. And when you get to arm tackling, you're going to drag people down. Yeah. So what's going to be weird about that is, I think as a fan, we're all going to be frustrated by those calls.
Yep.
Because they're complete judgment calls. And I think
they're not going to be consistent.
And I think it puts an unneeded additional pressure on officials. You know what I mean?
Think about the targeting call in college football the first year it was implemented.
Yeah. Officials, every referee and official, there's really one referee in every game. I know people don't know that, but that's the white hat. But officials all across the league, I guarantee you had the same reaction to that. Like, crap, are you kidding me? Now we got to look out for this?
Now we're going to get
15.
even more hate mail and
yeah, and they're making them 15-yard
the
penalties.
things.
So these are going to be decisive judgment calls.
Hate it. Well, and all the defensive guys out there are just tweeting what J.J. Watt say. You might as well throw the flags on now.
Here it comes.
I mean,
flag football.
And you knew that this was, is it a surprise? No, because what puts eyes on TV? What do people want to see? What is this next generation coming up all in on? Offense, 7-on-7, explosive offenses, lots of scoring, defensive battles, not sexy for a game,
Absolutely.
Everything is cyclical, but it does make you wonder, where is this game going to be 15 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So everybody's down there at the NFL owner meeting, including Brian Callahan, the Titans head coach, and this will be cut too, Hunt, talking about the additions and changes on the team's strength and conditioning staff. Slay's been interested in this. I know a lot of y'all have been as well.
Yeah, that was a really important hire, and I waited till the end of it so I could really spend all my attention focused on who the best person for that role would be. And Zach has knocked it out of the park. He's fantastic. Ton of really interesting experiences. Been ahead of a department in college, a couple places. Was doing the USFL, XFL league. So we got really unique experience as a head coach in the strength and conditioning world. And what I think is really cool is the guys that he brought with him. And we had two people with Haley and Brian Bell that I think are really fantastic coaches and people that we wanted to keep. And he had a couple of guys that he wanted to bring with him. And I think we've done a really good job of dividing that department. We have someone that's going to do the sports science. We have someone that's going to do the speed. We have a head coach. So I think we've made that program a little bit more robust with adding some more pieces and some more knowledge to try to do the best we can to keep those guys getting stronger, faster, and stay healthier. At the end of the day, a lot of emphasis gets placed on the strength and conditioning in the training room as injury prevention process. It's all a part of it. I think a lot of it has to do with how and what you do in practice in conjunction with that strength and conditioning and training room. But I just think the approach will be good. I think we'll do everything we can to make sure we're on top of the science part of it, the load management, and then how we schedule and structure practices will be, I think, a huge part of trying to keep guys healthy. Just the emphasis on it, the emphasis of having someone that has an expertise in it to add into the staff, that knows how to teach it, that knows how to manage it. Speed is, as they say, speed isn't really permanent. It's something you have to work on throughout the course of the year. And so having someone that's got an expertise in that is something that we are excited to add.
Hey, man. I'm so happy when people are aware of things that are going on and you don't, brush it under the rug or shrug it off or we'll be okay or we'll deal with it when it pops up. No, this has been a problem for the last 3 years now or 2?
Yeah, 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's affecting the way you're able to coach the game, the way you're able to go out there and perform, the guys able to go out and produce on these Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays, or whatever it may be. You can't get through like that. I can't implement a game plan and know I can go out and run it consistently if I can't get consistent bodies, the people I'm going to depend on to be out there in the game. Like this right here. And to take it a step further, to go and put people in charge of certain things and to hear this word again, collaborate all together and then come back and report. It's like you got somebody over speed, you got somebody over the science, you got somebody over the health, you got that's what you need. Pay as much attention to this as you think is needed because this is an important piece. This is what's been lacking. I ain't necessarily saying the talent's not been there. The talent may have been there. The talent been hurt. Man, salute. And I'm glad he took his time to figure out exactly what was needed. That man said we have head coaches in that department. I love it. Yes, give me all of that.
Right, and you've got two assistant strength and conditioning coaches, Mark Lovett and Grant Thorne, and then you've got Zach Woodfin, director of sports performance, and John Shaw, who's the assistant of sports performance. So there you go with your collaboration. 615-737-1045. More 3HL next. We're going to talk with Chris Lowe about Vanderbilt's new basketball coach. What does he know about Mark Byington? Also, the Sweet 16, Tennessee into the second weekend, and the SEC's troubles in the first weekend. 615-737-1045. Chris Lowe next on 1045 The Zone.
What's up? What's happening? Let's get out here and stand up. How you going to stand up if you're standing on shaky ground, people? It doesn't work that way. You'll fall through. Don't let that be the reason you can't enjoy your backyard renovations. You want to enjoy those barbecues, having people over, kicking it outside because the weather is going to be so nice. Well, get somebody in that's experts in concrete and asphalt. That's Milliken Corp. You can always depend on them. Also grading and drainage services as well. But right when you're looking for decorative concrete, stamped concrete, all of it is no job too large or too small when it comes to getting the work done. Milliken Corp, they deliver every single time, even from the calls. When you call in, you get top-notch customer service. They answer immediately, not an automatic answer, an automated answer. It's a real person. And guess what? Somebody's going to hit you right back directly within 24 hours to get right on top of it. And when you're 4 weeks out, you can get your first phone call. That's right. Get your project done. 615-238-5909. 615-238-5909. Not your fault you choose the wrong asphalt. Get to millikencorp.com.
Good evening from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. The NFL rule changes and the owners' meetings are happening right now. The owners have approved a rule proposal to ban the hip drop tackle. That's now going to result in a 15-yard penalty if you are flagged for it during the game. Also, new rule that is coming out are that teams can now receive a third instant replay challenge if they just have one successful challenge at some point in time throughout the game. And NFL media is meeting with the owners about changing the rules of Hard Knocks, where now the in-season version of Hard Knocks won't be about one specific team, but instead about a specific division. And Vanderbilt has hired a brand new head coach for basketball. James Madison Mark Byington will be the man after being 82-36 in 4 seasons at James Madison. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Hope you're having a great Monday.
What up, Joe?
5 o'clock hour is here. Quitting time for a lot of people.
Yes.
We're still rolling. Babsy's here.
I'm here.
What up, Babsy?
Happy Monday. That's right.
Not bunk your here.
Twitch, please. Happy Monday.
Lady Vols down by 5, 23.7 seconds left to NC State.
Hey, man.
That was a good comeback.
It was a good try. They blew a
NC
call
State's on
again.
the
March
free
Madness
throw line.
again. Blown. Yeah,
So
it'll
it
be
was
all over the time.
It was a 4-point game with 46 seconds left. Tennessee had just hit a 3. They steal the inbounds pass, and my take on it was that they anticipated a foul that did not occur, and it was a steal and a layup. Would have cut it to 2. And at that point, you don't have to foul because it's a 30-second shot clock. But they anticipate, blow the whistle. Boy, Kelly lost it.
It should have lost it even more.
Am I right about anticipating
Yeah,
the
that's
call?
exactly because it looked like it was going to be a foul if it wasn't clean, but it happened to be clean. Same thing for the Samford versus Kansas play.
Yep.
The block from behind.
Yep.
Like you anticipate there's going to be some kind of body contact. It was none. So you blew the call and you swayed the game. I want to give a shout out.
Shout out.
Oh.
Presented by your mom and them.
One of Pearl-Cohn's finest, man, from Western Kentucky, Tyrone Marshall put on a show. Western Kentucky versus
Check
Marquette.
the bracket.
Yeah, it was against Marquette. Man, he had 17 in the first half, was working. So I got to give my young fella some love. They done came up short, but he went to work.
Yep, and they
Young
led.
Woo, man. Shout out to Woo.
Yep, it looks Tennessee's going to lose. Lady Vols will exit the NCAA tournament in the second
home games,
round.
man. It's hard. Like, how do you not blow a call on a home game? I can understand that.
You've said it before the game even started.
It's a home game.
That's the position you're in as a 6 seed. 615-737-1045. Did we introduce Ron Slay?
I'm in the
Nope.
building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
Got your Vols basketball shirt on?
That's right, man. I'm locked and loaded, ready to roll. D-Town Boogie. I'm on the way. Motor City.
I've never been to Detroit.
I've never either. I'm gonna be there though.
Really?
Friday and Sunday.
I always got anytime the
good.
Titans played the Lions, I always got that game because we would like switch off in our sports department who would go. So Corey Curtis was the sports director when I was there. Of course.
Detroit.
He's like, well, you're going to Jacksonville, Detroit, like all the crappy places.
Yeah,
I got to go on those trips. I
better.
did get Green Bay, but
Detroit is coming back. A lot of small business owners have bought all those buildings for cheap.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
and
true.
they have
No, that's
started
true.
to renovate that whole city.
So, did you go to 8 Mile?
no.
No, I don't see Dawn being able to make it on 8 Mile.
Oh, well, you just don't know me then, hunk.
Hey,
You do
listen,
go hard.
she can battle rap. Big Red
I was
Gov.
just gonna read that. Yeah.
Yeah, it says that we were way wrong. Turn the volume up. We can't. So NC State called a timeout. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
so.
Kelly Harper lost her crap, though, man. I mean, completely lost it, laying on the floor.
Yeah,
Lost it.
I would have got a tech.
I don't know how she didn't.
Yeah, I would definitely got to take on that. Ain't no way.
All right, so thanks for clarifying that.
Thanks,
I mean,
good.
we're just sitting here watching.
Yeah.
And, like, why did that layup not happen? So, anyway. All right, timeout. There you go. Tennessee slips past Texas 62-58. Dalton Connect, 18 points, 9 boards. Triple J, 9 points, 9 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
You said you thought he might be a little more active.
Yeah, man. I think his mindset was in the right place. I think he felt as if he was clouded in judgment. And I think walking into this tournament, he knew that, I just got to go out in here and hoop. And I think he made it a point. I think I saw a little bit of that in the St. Peter's games. There was some turnovers there. But you didn't see the iffy plays. It looked like he was comfortable with making the plays, whether it be right or wrong, make or miss. He was going to do the play. And you saw that in this with that big-time corner three, the reverse layup, and the humongous rebound where Jonas Adu did not box out. Josiah came up with the rebound, boxing out his man and beating Jonas's man to the board was humongous. And that's what it's about, being able to make impact in those games when you have the opportunity. So
I have a question for you.
What up?
You're talking about certain moments in games. Do you have to come home and rewatch it on TV because you can't see everything?
Some games I do
in person.
Some games, that game I was in a really good spot and
you could see the
I could
whole
see the whole
floor.
floor. Yeah. And I was dialed all the way in. I think sometimes when you're watching it, when you're calling games, it's difficult to watch it. And when we were sitting at in the SEC tournament in that corner, it's kind of hard to see the game without watching it on TV. So I have to rewatch it. But this one, the game was going slow to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could
see
each
everything.
play happening. Yeah, it was pretty dope to watch it like that too. I thought one thing that was impressive. I got to talk to a Ohio rep, one of the coaches today, and he was asking me what did I think about the game, and I was like, man, I thought the most impressive thing was everybody keeping each other's spirits high.
Mm-hmm. Like because shots weren't falling.
Yeah, and there was moments in that game where guys could have been like, hey, man, do this, or hey, no, try to do this. And it wasn't none of that. It was like, hey, man, keep shooting. You know what I'm saying?
Or can you get in a place where you hang your head a little bit and it affects your defense?
You start to think.
Because that never happened.
No, it didn't. It didn't. They were able to depend on that defense, and they were able to go back to things that worked, like that 1-5 pick and roll was I thought they should have went to it even a little bit more with Jonas and Zakai. That was working over and over, and to be able to keep confidence in Jonas, to keep giving him the ball, knowing that he'd make the play, that was dope because the backdoor dunk to Dalton Connect came from Jonas.
He's such a good passer.
Like it was pretty good, man. And
he sees the floor well.
You look back at Michigan last year was it Michigan last year they played? 2 years ago? I don't remember. When they played Michigan and the plays were to be made.
Yeah, last year, right?
Yeah.
They beat Duke and then played Michigan.
Yeah. And the plays wasn't being made.
And then you ended up all
man,
over the internet.
Yeah, it get turned into a meme. The plays wasn't being made in those same plays, but this time you saw the confidence, even with Dalton Connect shooting the way he was, that out of bounds 3-pointer. Like we were saying in the stands, shoot it.
Yeah.
You have to
I didn't see anybody pass up the open three because I've heard Rick Barnes, and I've heard multiple coaches say this. If you're in the game and you pass up an open three, you're coming out.
You're hurting us.
I don't care who's making what. Like,
yeah, you're hurting us.
If you're in the game, you got to shoot it. And I thought they did a good job of continuing to run their stuff, even though nobody was hitting. Spectacularly bad stats, that's for sure. How hard is it? I'll get to this crazy stat in a second, but how hard is it to get away from that and to get that out of your mind and move on to the next game? Like Zakai Ziegler, for example, 2 for 12, 1 for 8 from 3.
I think it's
easier. Does that move with you, or can you forget it?
I'm honestly in a tournament format. I think it's easier to forget about a game you won like that, and you shot horribly. You're so anxious to get to the next game, then come out and be on fire, and be scorching 70% from the 2. 45% from 3 and walk into the next game like, we can repeat that. Instead of, hey, man, let's go out here and play the same way. We know it. Like Bab said, we know at some point these shots going to fall. Mm-hmm. I would much rather deal with that than the being on fire early. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how to. All right, man, we missed shots last game, dog. Stick with it. The shot's gonna fall. We're gonna get stops. You can depend on that. You can get. You're working from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? In the tournament, in this tournament style. So
what do they? What do they do? When do they get there? Are they going now? You know, what do you think the schedule
Game
is?
Friday, I would say they leave Wednesday after practice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Get up there.
That helps too. Different venue, right? Like,
yeah,
to move past all that.
It's hey man, that's all erased. Everything that we did in Birmingham when we were on our way to our Sweet 16 stayed in Birmingham, and rightfully so. It needed to, because there's a lot of things that we did in Birmingham that need to stay in Birmingham. When we got to Austin, it was totally different. Once we got to Austin and was locked in on the Sweet 16, and it feel like you in a whole different tournament, because it's less teams. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's a bigger eye on you. So all that attention you thought you were getting, magnify that.
It's ratcheted up.
Yeah,
now.
buddy.
Making the Sweet 16 means something. Tennessee, the first team to ever win an NCAA tournament game while shooting less than 15% from three. 3 for 25 is what they were. That's 12%. And less than 35% overall from the field. 22 of 65, 33.8%. So
That's crazy.
First team in NCAA history to win a tournament game shooting like that. In tournament history, teams that shot this poorly were 0 and 66.
Wow.
They're now 1 in 66.
Crazy stat.
They found a way to get it done.
Hey, man.
No one else had.
Gotta have a game like that.
No one else had. All right, we found Chris Lowe. We'll talk with him next
Hey.
about Vanderbilt hiring James Madison, coach Mark Byington. Also, the Sweet 16 coming up. Chris Lowe from ESPN.com next on 104.5 The Zone.
All right, you guys hear me talk about Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville all the time. Did you know that they have a showroom in Franklin, 277 Mallory Station Road in Franklin, and they have all their windows, all their doors there. They could show you things. They can let you know all about their process and their business. You can just swing by whenever you want. I actually am going to go visit the Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville showroom on Wednesday this week, just to see what's up and say hi to everybody. And maybe you're in need of replacement windows and doors. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is who you need to call. It's who you need to talk to. And you might be surprised to learn how affordable those replacement windows are from Pella Windows and Doors. Even more affordable now with this deal they have going on. 50% off qualifying installations. And that's an and. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. So go stop by the showroom there in Franklin, 277 Mallory Station Road, or go ahead and schedule your free consultation. Check out that special I told you about online. Just visit Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville at PellaNashville.com.
What is happening, good people? Don't you want to get some exceptional styles? You know where to get it. You want exceptional deals? You know where to go get it. Every single day for over 50 years, it's been happening at 7012 Church Street East, right there located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Brentwood Jewelry is what I'm talking about. BrentwoodJewelry.com if you don't have the time to walk into the store to get the family fun atmosphere that Brandon and his people give you. Once you walk in, I promise you, they're going to be right there to wait on you, make sure you get everything you're looking for. And if you just are wondering and just, window shopping a little bit, great place to be as well. You may have a gift that's coming up that you need to go get, an engagement that you want to work on, whatever it may be, Mother's Day, Father's Day, don't forget about us, and birthdays, whatever it is, man, they do not miss where you're looking for watches, diamonds for that special lady or that special someone. This is the place to be. Going over to Brentwood Jewelry. Tell them Big Slate sends you over there. They do have new hours, though. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And always a phone call away or a click away. BrentwoodJewelry.com.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Sweet 16 coming up Thursday and Friday. Tennessee playing Friday late 9:09 p.m. You can catch the game right here on 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, the producer of 3HL, is Joe Hunt.
Sup?
I see Eggy Bop in the studio, too, with his backwards Tennessee hat.
Yeah, he bopped in here.
He bopped in here. Some people pop in. He bops in. 615-737-1045 is the number at 3HL 1045. Vanderbilt reportedly, and I guess official, hiring James Madison coach Mark Byington. Honestly, don't know much about him other than like the stats you can look up. You know, like 12 seasons, one NCAA tournament, which was this year. 32 wins this year. Outside of that, pretty okay, you know. But to Babs' point, Georgia Southern not known as a basketball power.
Yes.
And then that's where he was before he went to James Madison. Chris Lowe with ESPN.com joins us now. Chris, what's up? How are you?
Great. It's good to be with you guys. I tell you, those late starts, man, the person I feel the worst for is Slay because it cuts into his corral.
Yep.
And Slay knows I speak from experience. Saturday night.
Yes, indeed. Hey, man.
Slay was trying to be a factor in that game.
I was. I think we all were. Hey,
I was sitting down there in the VFL Hall of Fame. You had Slay. Just to my right, you had Al Wilson and Jeff Coleman from the '98 National Championship team.
Big Jeff Coleman.
White. You had Lang Wiseman. You had all the big ticket guys.
we snuck in.
What were you doing down there, Low Dog?
Snuck in on his coattails, man.
I was sitting up at like 232, row 40, stuck my way down.
Great time, though, boy.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Great time.
Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
Probably a little too good a time. Let's just leave
Never
it
that.
Chris,
but it was pretty cool to see a lot of people. Charlotte's a pretty good locale for Tennessee fans. There's a lot of Tennessee people in the Carolinas. It's an easy drive from the Knoxville area, and downtown Charlotte is, pretty. I wouldn't say it's quite as festive as Nashville, but the cities are close as far as size and just the feel of the city.
Before we get to Vanderbilt's hire of Mark Byington, I read this stat in the last segment. I want to run this by you since you were there. Tennessee, of course, slips by Texas 62-58. Tennessee is the first team, Chris, to ever win an NCAA tournament while shooting less than 15% from three and 35% overall from the floor. In the tournament's history, teams that shot this poorly were 0-66 before that night. They are now 1-66.
Crazy.
Yeah, I heard that stat last night, and I think there's two ways to look at it. Number one, that ain't going to happen the second time in the tournament.
Right.
And I think that's me being Captain Obvious there. Number two, I think it says a lot about the culture and the tone that starts at the top with Rick Barnes, that you can beat a team like Texas in the second round of the tournament and shoot so miserably. And I'm not talking about one or two guys. I'm talking about everybody. And still find a way to win, still be disciplined enough and have the inner toughness to compete on defense every possession. I mean, it's hard. Slay will tell you, when you're playing basketball, he knows this better than anybody, and you're missing shots, it is hard to maintain your defensive intensity on every possession. It is really difficult to do that.
Yeah.
It takes a special player, a special coach to instill that in you. And Tennessee was able to do that and to rebound, not do a lot of silly things. And let's be honest, in tournament games, in close games, it always comes down 8 out of 10 times to what? Being able to make your free throws.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalton Connect stepped up there. Jonas made a couple, but Dalton Connect makes 4 straight, and they win the game. And let me say this too: Josiah goes 2 straight games and doesn't score a point.
Yes.
In Mississippi State, and in the first game in Charlotte, he doesn't score a point. But when they needed anyone to make a shot, he makes the biggest shot of the game, bar none, on the 3-pointer. So, again, a guy who's played a lot of basketball, he's been on those stages. They've got to have more of that going forward. But I still think, and I was talking to my dad about it before I left Charlotte, and he was lamenting the fact that they couldn't throw one in the Pacific Ocean. And I said, if you're going to win 6 straight games, which clearly is this team's goal, which every team's goal now, you're going to have at least one game where you can't make anything, and you've got to find a way to grind it out and defend and make plays in the last few minutes of the game to win it, and Tennessee did that.
CeeLo, I got to ask you, we were talking about it. I don't do this much as far as bringing myself up and comparing it to someone or another, but you were there when you were covering us, and I relate Tobe Awaka's performance next to mine when we were playing Louisiana Lafayette against Lonnie Thomas and those guys, and our game was kind of hanging in the balance, and you needed like an energy shift. And Coach Green put me in and ran off and had a good game and kind of shifted the energy. I felt Tobe Awaka did the exact same thing regardless of, like I heard a lot of people saying, man, if he wasn't fouling and things. Now, you at that moment in games like that, you don't even worry about is he fouling, what he's doing. It's the energy that's brought and the aggressive style that he's playing with that it becomes to become infectious to the other teammates, and they have to pick up on it. How important was that he brought?
Well, I thought the same thing. I was telling Tony and Anthony Richardson, who sat beside me, every time he scored inside and made those tough twos, I said, those are the kind of baskets from a guy that comes off the bench that you got to have when it's do or die time. You got to have that, as you say, that kind of energy. Here's the other thing, Slay, you were there right down in front of me. He didn't look scared at all. I mean, he came in, he was aggressive. He wasn't tentative. He wasn't hesitant. He took the ball hard, get some big, physical, strong guys. Listen, Texas got a lot of men out there on the court.
Yes, they do.
And he took the ball in hard. And what did he score, 11 points in 11 minutes? Something like that?
Yeah.
10 points in 11 minutes. Yeah, the only thing, he's got to find – the third foul he got, he's got to just make himself not commit fouls like that because they need him to play 15, 16, 17 minutes.
Yep.
And they're going to need more of that. But I agree. It's got to be somebody like that maybe doesn't typically score in double figures, especially when it's somebody off the bench, whether it's him, whether it's Gainey, Meshack, the plays and the shots he made when they won at Alabama. That's what it's going to take going forward. Dalton did have the best game. Teams are really starting to beat up. I don't say beat him up, but beat on him physically. Slay. When you're there at the game, you see, just how physical teams are being with him. They just don't want him to catch it. They're bumping him. They're grinding. You've got to have other guys make plays. And a lot of times guys that, aren't average in double figures. Tobe's not he's not a double figure guy, but he did. And again, the energy and the way he got baskets, man, you've got to get baskets inside this time of the year. You cannot just stand there and wait on your guys at the perimeter to make every shot. And talking to some guys on that staff after the game, they said that. They mentioned him. And they mentioned Adu, that Adu has to make more shots at the rim.
Yep.
Anybody to take some of the pressure off those guys on the perimeter. It's almost like it counts double. When you make tough twos in the lane this time of year, Slay, it's almost like it counts double because those are the shots that, you just don't have to count on a guy going 4 for 10 or 6 for 11 from three-point line.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of what you just said is really interesting. But watching Dalton connect, we were talking about this with Zach Edey. They officiate NCAA tournament games completely differently. And it starts in the conference tournaments too. But when you watch Dalton connect off the ball, he's being grabbed and held the entire time. And so it's harder for him to get away from his defender to get that. And he doesn't need much space to get that three off, but it's been hard for him. The other thing that's interesting to me when you watch these tournaments, man, those benches shrink. And watching that Kraton-Oregon game into double overtime, I'm looking at the box score now. They play 7 guys.
Yeah.
They play 7 guys, and they had 2 players that played all 50 minutes. They had another player that played 49 minutes. It's just interesting to watch tournament basketball, like Gonzaga and Kansas. Both played 6 guys. I was looking midway through the second half, and they had only played 6 guys each. It's funny how those benches get shrunk.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's about a player or 2 deeper than Kraton, which, you think back to last year playing without Zakai, without your point guard. Of course, that's a whole different planet, when you don't have your point guard. But you're exactly right. When you get into game 3, now the games are spaced out enough to, you think, even though you play 2 overtimes, that wear and tear doesn't show up as much in the second half. But I still think it's a big factor. And I can't stress enough the way games are officiated. And Slay, I'll ask you, when you're out there on the floor early and you sort of see the kind of whistle you're going to get, and you hope that that's officiated that way the entire game and they don't start to tighten up with 8 minutes to play in the game. But I think as much as they beat up on Dalton, I think if Tennessee gets that kind of whistle and the officials let teams play the way they did there in Charlotte on Saturday, I think that's an advantage for Tennessee, the way they like to defend and be so physical.
Yeah, I totally agree. You look at it, I thought that was the advantage I always had playing that six-man role, was to be able to see, oh, this is how they calling the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. I can go in here and mix it up and bang around and, at least change that, if nothing else. But, yeah, I thought that's something that Tobey, it seems like, was locked in on. And I think, man, you got to know it. I always tell the story that John Clockerty, rest his soul, man, was the one that told me, you got to get to know these officials. My sophomore to junior year, I had an opportunity to talk to him, and it changed the trajectory of my career in college basketball, because you have to understand that what you have in conference is not what you're going to necessarily have in the tournament, besides the big-name refs. It's going to be different, and you have to treat these people like human. They don't want to be noticed, but it's okay if you Mr. So-and-so, how you doing? And that goes a long way. And so I started to take that with me. I didn't get back to that tournament, though, but
Mr. TV Teddy, how are you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
TV back this year, though. But, no, I think Tennessee is, they've, for the most part, defended the three pretty well. They better against these guys, because they've shot about 1,000 threes, I think 995 threes or something like that. Kraton, I'm talking about. And they've got 3 or 4 guys that can shoot it. Most of their scoring, they've got 3 guys who average 17+ a game, including a big guy inside who's pretty skilled, the 7'1" kid. Yeah. So, again, I think making shots at the rim, Tobey, Jonas Adu, as Dalton drives to the rim, he's been a really good finisher all year. I think making those shots at the rim helps open up things from the perimeter. And, you've got to have, whether it's Gainey, whether it's Santi, Josiah, Zakai did not shoot the ball well the other night. Those guys, I think, when you look back over the course of the season, as many big games they've been in, as many tough teams as they played. This is a team, you look at the teams in the Sweet 16 in the tournament, Tennessee's played a lot of these teams already.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going to face somebody, whether it's Kraton or Purdue, or else they face the rest of the way. They're like, whoa, man, this talent level, or these guys are big or fast. There shouldn't be any kind of factor like that, because they played, and this is purposeful by Rick Barnes, they played a really tough, hard schedule. And now it gets down to the 3 or 4 things we talk about. Locking down on defense, making your free throws, making open jump shots, and not having empty possessions, where you go 3, 4, 5 minutes and you just don't get good looks at the basket.
Chris Lowe with us, senior writer for ESPN.com.
I thought that was something, you tell me if I'm wrong, C-Lord, you saw the same thing. I thought that was something that these guys kind of learned from when the shot wasn't falling. A lot of times it's like they would wait in the past for the ball to come back around just to get the shot. I thought that Dalton stayed very active as far as if his shot wasn't falling, or them bumping and grinding on him and not being able to get the ball in spots that he wanted, being able to go to the offensive boards, Gainey going to the boards the way he was, also Meshack when he got in. But these guys not standing and waiting on, just to get another attempt up, just knowing that they could do. And I think I'm going to give credit to Josiah and Santi to step into this role of accepting doing other things until the ball was swung back around and they had that opportunity.
Yeah, it's been a very selfless team. Let's be honest. Even when Santi and Josiah haven't scored, they've tried to do other things, defend, rebound, make what I call winning plays. Santi, for his size, is one of the better rebounding guards out there. Now, as the tournament starts to shrink, though, and I know this sounds elementary, you got to make open shots, because you don't get a lot of open shots at this point. They're precious, and because teams are going to play defense, and when you get open looks, you can't hesitate. You got to step up there and knock them down. Listen, I look at things in 45 plus years of watching tournament basketball. I look at it this way: Tennessee was 3 of 25 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm jinxing them. I just don't see any way they shoot at that 40 again the next game. That doesn't mean they're going to win, but I do feel pretty confident about this. They will lock down and play defense, and they will compete, and they will make it hard for Kraton to score. Now, Kraton maybe they have Jimmy Chitwood who steps out there. He just can't miss. You have that. You remember the kid at Purdue and with Grant and Adler, those guys in 2019.
Yep.
He's throwing in bombs from 30 feet.
Man, that was nice.
Just like the kid from Yale.
Yep.
Against Auburn. That happens sometimes. But I do feel confident that Tennessee will defend. They will play the way defensively they have all year. And also feel much more optimistic that they won't just be completely stone cold from three. We'll see what Kraton does. But
Yep.
I think the last 10 minutes of the game, because I do think the game will be close, as you pointed out, Brent, does Tennessee's depth and the fact that a lot of these guys have played a lot of minutes for Kraton, does that show up? I think that's something to watch in this basketball game.
Yep. Kentucky dealt with a guy that couldn't miss as well. Chris Lowe with us from ESPN.com.
All right, Chris, Vanderbilt basketball makes a hire. What do you know about Mark Byington and the process that led Vanderbilt to him?
This is what I know. He went to two places that aren't what you would call basketball juggernauts, who had long streaks on of losing seasons or just not playing very good basketball. And he went to two places, Georgia Southern and James Madison, and sort of took them to heights and some accomplishments, 21 seasons, winning seasons that they hadn't done in a long time, at places that aren't, let's be honest, they're not resource schools. Mm-hmm. And he loves to play a frenetic style of basketball. He likes to press, force teams to turn it over. His teams have been really good at not giving teams good looks from three, which in this day and age in basketball, you better be able to defend the three-pointer and turning teams over. They averaged, I think, about 80 points. So I know everybody looks at it and says, well, you know what? Why can't we get John Shire? Why can't we get this guy or that guy? Every school does that, whether you're Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida State. And sometimes there's older coaches who are more established, maybe toward the end of their career, that people point to, say, well, let's go get him. When there's a coach like this guy, Byington, who's been a head coach for 12 years now. It's not like he's had success for 4 or 5 years at one school. Okay, he's sort of the flavor of the month. Let's go get him. This guy's been a head coach for 11 or 12 years. He's run his own shop in two different places. He's rebuilt programs that have been down and built them back up. And I think when you're looking at what Vanderbilt needs, he checks a lot of the boxes. Hey, ultimately he's got to do it. You know, they've got to get to the tournament on a regular basis. Vanderbilt basketball has a proud tradition. Just being competitive ain't going to cut it. They've got to be a team and a program that yearly is a threat to get into the tournament, and more times than not does get into the NCAA tournament.
There he is. It's Chris Lowe at CeeLo ESPN. Chris, great stuff, man. Appreciate you visiting with us.
Slay, I'll see you in Detroit, man.
You better know it.
Lord have mercy. See you, CeeLo.
See you guys.
At CeeLo ESPN. When we come back, DeAndre Hopkins was at the NFL meeting. He talked about winning a championship, his relationship with Rand Carthon, his love for Will Levis, Calvin Ridley, happy about the organization. All that next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening? KellumStemCellInstitute.com. That's where you should land your phone and your fingers to, so you can go talk to Dr. Kellum as well as like I did and get everything healed on up. Matter of fact, you'll be letting your own body and your own cells do your own healing. It's only right, man. Your own body does your own healing. Why wouldn't you want it anywhere else? All these pills and things that people are trying to give you and they diagnose you with, why don't you let this help your body? That's right. Let your body help yourself. Congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, arthritis, whatever it may be. For me, it was inflammation. In the knees, aching, pain, felt like it was on fire. And my shoulder as well. Haven't had a problem with it yet. Went in there and had my consultation with Dr. Kellum. Sat down. He told me exactly what I needed to hear because he answered all my questions. If I even had any more. You just got to call and get yours. 615-850-4415. That's 615-850-4415. Feel good like Big Slay. Call Dr. Kellum today. What's happening, good people? Listen real carefully. If you're feeling a little tired, a little grumpy, you notice lack of motivation and drive, weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could be signs of low testosterone levels. You need to get that in order. All you got to do is go to Low T Center. They make it easy to get your levels checked. It's just a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll get your results back in 25 minutes. Right now, $25 to get your T levels tested. Make your health a priority. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Three HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. It's a big week for tons of football
information. NFL owner meetings going on. Real quick, and then we'll get to DeAndre Hopkins. Some talk about changing things up on kickoffs and onside kicks could be voted on tomorrow, actually. There's the answer to that.
Oh, there you go.
Kickoffs were only returned 22% of the time this year.
Boring.
Used to be one of the more exciting plays.
People made livings off of special teams.
Yes. Onside kicks were recovered 5% of the time.
Well,
that's it.
So here's what's being discussed. They're looking to go at the XFL rule for kickoffs, but onside kicks, you can go unbalanced, meaning 6 on one side, 4 on the other, but you have to declare that you are doing an onside kick.
I mean, that takes the fun out of it. Okay, but I'll feel you. All right.
You want to know about kickoffs?
Yeah, give me the kickoffs.
I'm texting with Jim White right now. See if he is still.
What you thinking, Jimmy?
Meetings tomorrow. Sorry about that. Kicker lines up where he has the 35-yard line. His kickoff coverage team would line up on the receiving team's 40-yard line. Think of XFL. Yep. The receiving team at its 35-yard line, so 5 yards apart, and nobody can move until the ball is touched or hits the ground in the target zone. The target zone is the 20-yard line to the goal line.
I mean,
so they can't move until the ball is touched.
That's going to be some runbacks.
Yeah.
Especially when I tell you what the touchback is.
What's the touchback?
Touchbacks come out to the 35-yard line.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, you're devaluing your kicker and valuing your return man a little bit more.
Now, one caveat. If you can get it by everybody, like on the ground through the end zone, then the ball comes out to the 20.
Okay.
So you kick it in the zone and it bounces in the end zone, then it come out to the 20.
Yeah.
That's still some placement.
Or if it's caught in the air as a touchback, it goes to the 35.
They're going to make some – in the zone? If you catch it in the zone, it go out to the 35
as a
fair
touchback.
Catch?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I don't know about fair catch. It reads touchback.
All right.
So I guess what they meant by that was
if you catch it in
the end zone as a touchback, then it goes to the 35.
I like that.
This is voted on tomorrow?
Or they wait until May. But the thought is that they want to vote on it and be done before the draft so people can know what they want their roster to look like.
Because, I mean, from a return specialist and all of that, then it becomes more important all of a sudden.
That's right.
I like that. Pretty dope.
Huh.
So Jim Wyatt will check in live from the NFL owners meeting tomorrow.
Love it.
As we go through the Tuesday edition. DeAndre Hopkins met with the media. He was talking about flag football and stuff, but he also spent some time talking about the Titans. He said he's here to win a championship this year.
I haven't. And like, you guys know, man, I try to be present. I try to take things, week for week, day for day. I try not to look on to the future. So, man, my mindset is, what it should be, and everybody who suits so, and that's to win a championship this year, and for the Tennessee Titans, and that's how I'm going to approach every day.
That's how you have to approach it, right? In competitive anything. DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins happens to love Will Levis.
Will and I are going to get together, and we talk all the time. Will's like a little brother to me, so anywhere I can be instrumental in his development, I'll do it.
I like that mindset. That means that he ain't got no problem telling, hey, Will, I need the ball here.
Yep.
Stop joking around.
Well, and we saw that Will had no problem talking to him either. Yep. Yeah. I like that. I like the relationship from the outside looking at it.
Me too. What about DeAndre Hopkins' relationship with Calvin Ridley, new Titans?
Calvin is someone who I've watched since he was in the NFL, watched him in college, had the opportunity to train with him a couple years. Julio Jones and I are good friends, and so Julio and I used to train, and he brought Calvin along one off season, and I fell in love with his personality, who he is, just as a human. Calvin's a great guy. He wants to be great, and he's going to be great. And anything I can do to help him accomplish everything that he wants, that's what I'll do, just like the other guys did with me. But I think, him and I on the field, it's going to be hard to kind of key in on one of us. And I think it's just, it's only going to make defenses have to prepare a little harder for us this year.
And just think, When y'all get my dog in the fold, Traylon Burks is really on.
It's funny that didn't come out of his mouth.
Dog.
It's funny that didn't come out of his mouth there.
No, I knew it. I knew it. They cut him off. Hunt cut him off.
How about-
Hunt cut PK off?
No, he cut Traylon Burks off.
I fell in love with him as a person.
Yeah, it's dope. Got some good guys in there.
That's like
that is good.
That is an intense statement.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good locker room guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins. How do I frame this one? Is he happy with the organization?
I'm happy. I'm smiling. So I'm trying to win a championship, and I think everything that Miss Amy's doing and Rand is doing is along those lines. So it's hard not to be happy about the moves he made this offseason and where this team is going.
One thing.
Who's smiling?
Did you miss that? One thing.
all the time.
He said he's happy about all these people, and he left out Traylon. He's happy with what Traylon is doing. Like, I'm happy about what Traylon is doing right now.
No,
He's
you
been
know
working with him.
what he's doing. He's just trying to make everybody forget about Traylon because he knows he's a dog.
He can't
Right?
forget about
Oh,
it.
that's an interesting take.
He's just gonna sneak up on everybody.
No, we ain't sneaking up this year. We done did all the sneaking. We done snuck out. We done-
Sneaking.
Yeah, we done snuck out of everywhere we need to go. Ain't no more sneaking around. We in here. Traylon Burks.
Remember when you were a kid, you're sneaking around everywhere.
All I know is Calvin, really, you got your work cut out for you, dog.
Even after this offseason, the Titans still have the longest odds to win the AFC in 2024 at plus 8,000.
Where's my boy Jersey, man?
Patriots at plus 6,600. Broncos at plus 5,000. Titans free agency additions, of course. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley, cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback Chidobe Awuzie, running back Tony Pollard, center Lloyd Cushenberry, quarterback Mason Rudolph, linebacker Kenneth Murray, and offensive lineman Sadiq Charles.
That
Fun show.
was work.
That was some work.
Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate all the participation as always. Thank you for including us in your day. We will be back at it tomorrow. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be ya.